The distinguished chairman of this occasion, Your Excellencies, the governors of Borno and the governors of Bauchi State, our very distinguished guest speaker, discussants, very distinguished security experts, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. If security is not everyone's business, don't bother looking for your phone whilst you sit here and you left it on the seat. Just stand up and leave your phone there unattended. Go ease yourself and come back. I saw a video skit yesterday, one to demonstrate how peaceful and how safe the United Arab Emirates is. To prove that, the man drops his laptop, his phones, his wallet on the bonnet of his car, and then went into a shopping mall to shop, and came back. Lo and behold, he met all the items intact. And then a brother of ours from one of the African French-speaking countries wanted to prove that their country is equally very safe. Names withheld for obvious reasons. The man spoke in French, left his laptop, his phone, his handbag as he was talking, and he turned around. The handbag and the phones disappeared. We saw one young man standing. He said, "Did you pick mine?" He said, "I don't know what you're talking about." By the time he dropped the phone and turned back, the phone too had disappeared. You see why security is important. Watch your back and watch your neighbor's back. Let your neighbor watch your back and watch his back, and keep watching each other's backs. That's the way to provide security. I recall when we were kids, if a new person, woman or man, comes to our locality, we'll be able to spot him right there. The very next day we are saying that man is new, that woman is new, that house is empty. We prefer to find out from the landlord if that house is rented to them or what they are doing there. That was how we kept eyes on our communities those days. But I think that is what the convener of this program in a nutshell has just told us, that we need to revisit. But very quickly, we are going to approach this program with a lot of business-like approach. And I'm not working alone. I'm Andy Gabriel, and I'm going to be working with my brother and associate. He'll be introducing himself, MC Philip, and Philip Rennie. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Philip, where are you? He's busy trying to get some names for us. He'll be joining us shortly. But let me quickly, because we have said we're going to approach you with some form of business-like approach, let me, at this juncture, introduce to us the guest speaker at this occasion. Major General Garba Ayodeji Wahab, retired. Major General Garba Ayodeji Wahab is the incumbent Director General of the Nigerian Army Resource Center, and the second since the establishment of the center in 2015. He hails from Ilorin, Kwara State, and attended the University of Lagos, where he read political science at King's College, London, where he obtained 2 Masters of Arts degrees in Defense Studies and International Relations. He was commissioned into the Nigerian Army Corps of the Military Police as a lieutenant in December 1983, and voluntarily retired from service at the rank of a Major General on 28 January 2015. For his grounding in military affairs, Major General Wahab attended many courses, which are not limited to this one, but includes the Young Officers, Infantry, Military Officers, Basic Police Administration, and Management and System Approach to Training and Curriculum courses. Others are the Junior and Senior Command and Staff courses, the Advanced Senior Command and Staff, and the Royal College of Defense Studies courses in the United Kingdom. General Garba Wahab served in various instructional, staff, and command capacities at the Military Police Corps, Army, and Defense Headquarters levels. These include instructor and directing staff at the School of Military Police, Nigerian Defense Academy, and Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Georgia. The military assistant to the Chief of Policy and Plans, Army Commander Training and Doctrine Command, the Chief of Army Staff and Chief of Defense Staff. He also served as a principal staff officer to 2 chiefs of army staff. He was the director of operations at the Army Headquarters, general officer commanding 1 division of the Nigerian Army, with his last appointment before retirement being the chief of administration, Army Headquarters. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to plead with him for this very intimidating biography of his, that he permits me to just abridge it and stop at the point where he retired. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I will stop at that by saying that as a Director General of the Nigerian Army Resource Center, General Wahab Ayodeji paid courtesy visit to the Registrar General, the Chief Executive Officer of the Corporate Affairs Commission, and from there he has established very robust relationships with different arms of the Nigerian government within Nigeria and outside the shores of this country. He's a security expert by all standards. Please, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming our guest speaker as he takes us for the next couple of minutes as he talks to the topic that we are treating here today, the security, insecurity, and the nation, the journey thus far. Can we have that round of applause? Can we make it a bit louder than that?
The chairman of the occasion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to leverage on the already established protocol because of time. The organizers, I want to appreciate you. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next. Next. Let me appreciate the organizers and start by the fact that the topic given to me could be looked from different perspectives. Historical computation. If I go historical, I'm going to be very boring, telling you what happened, what does not happen, and things like that. And the issue could be looked from different perspectives, depending on where the person who is talking stands. And because whether you are talking about security or insecurity, it depends on who you are. The terrorist to somebody is a freedom fighter to another person. And so what I'm going to look at is what are we doing, and what is happening, and what we're going to do. Next slide, please. I just said the topic to look at national development. I've added national development because you can't be talking about security or insecurity. What do we want to attain? We're looking for national development. But I'm starting with the fact that the world in a state is in a state of warfare. Virtually everywhere is in crisis. And I've put some pictures there from Europe, Ukraine. You have Yemen, you have Syria, you have Nigeria, Boko Haram. And so there's no country that is immune. The US is feeling from the crisis of gun and fentanyl. And that's one of the reasons why the president is challenging Canada and Mexico. We must stop the flow of fentanyl into my country. Otherwise there will be a problem. Because they have a drug issue, serious, massive drug issue in the US. And globalization and non-state actors have added to our problems. Whether you like it or not, whatever happens here, anybody in Canada, anybody in the US could be watching us real life situation. All you need to do is connect, and interconnectivity is already established. So we have issues, and above all, the system, the international system is analytical. It depends on power. Yes, there is this claim that it's rules-based. Who's who? The rules of those who are powerful. And that is why the president of the US could challenge the Europeans. And we're going to allow Russia to attack you if you don't raise your GDP, the amount of GDP you spend on defense. I can't be securing you when you're not spending money on yourself. And then what happened to Africa in the past is now happening to Europe when the Russians, when the Americans met Russia and Saudi Arabia and decided to partition Ukraine. This is what is going to happen. you lose distant part of you without Ukraine being present. We are not present when they were dividing us. Now all of a sudden it's happening in real life, in our lifetime. So that's what the world has become. Next slide. So there is this belief that the security is degenerating in Nigeria. It's not as before. Yes, just mentioned in the past. Whatever happens, you have people reporting. But globalization has taken that away. And it is believed that more than 60% of Nigeria by 2030 will be living in urban centers. People are going to live in rural communities. In rural communities, it's easy to determine if somebody is a fresh face. In urban centers, you don't even know your next door neighbor. How do you determine who is a new person, who is not? So we have issues. We have serious problems at hand. And all these are fear. They've been fueled by a sense of marginalization, sense of greed. We're trapped. We want to be capitalists. We're welfareists by nature. I can come to your house and knock your door in the past. You open the door, I tell you I'm hungry. You give me food, you give me water. Today, if I knock your door, you call the police for me because you believe I want to spy on you. So we're trying to be capitalists. And we're not there. We're left where we look after ourselves. We're moving to where everybody's on his own. We're not there. So we have a massive, massive problem. We have an issue there. And so this has led to a clamor for creation of states, for the creation of security outfits. The latest was happening in December in Anambra State in January this year. And even with that, emphasis has been on physical security. Bring the boys, let them do the job. That's not going to solve the problem. We have to look elsewhere. We have to have some other things. Without security, there can be no development. That has been resonating over the years. McNamara mentioned it, and we've been saying it, and that's why we brought in the issue of development, whatever we discuss. Next slide, please. There's a nexus. Whether you are talking about security or insecurity, the two goes together. It's the opposite of each side. That's what some experts say. When you talk about insecurity, it's the opposite of security. And then we must connect it with development. We know our problems. About some few weeks past, I was in this same hall, and I said it. We know what the problems are. We know we have problems with kidnapping. We have problems with ritual killings. We have some solutions. But then what is the problem? Where is the will to actually pursue the solution to the problems which we've identified? And that's the problem. We must learn. I said we must learn from Ukraine. They know the problems, but they tended towards one side. And I decided they tended towards Europe. We want to be like Europeans, complete Europeans. We are not more East Europeans. We want to be Western Europeans. And as the same Western Europeans they depend on US. All of a sudden, the US is withdrawing the support to the Western Europeans, and Ukraine is left in the lurch. We shouldn't be that, and that's my own standard. The solution to our problem must be local. It must be Nigerian made. We can't wait for any other person. Nobody's going to assist us to secure ourselves. Because once we develop, once we are secure and we're developed, the standard of living of those other countries will drop. It's automatic. But what they are getting free of charge, we don't get it. And that's why countries like France are having problems today. In the past, before the breakaway of the Francophone from the French hold, Niger Republic, for instance, have uranium. And the French government was picking uranium from Niger Republic. The uranium was selling for $200 and something dollars per bushel. They were giving the Niger Republic 80 cents. Out of the 80 cents, they give 40 cents to themselves and release 40 cents for their own national whatever. And that's what was happening. Free of charge taking uranium. Now it's not happening. The standard of living here is dropping because the cost of energy has risen seriously. And that's what we need to understand. We cannot place our security in the hands of anybody. The solution must be local. It must be within. Next slide. Next, those are the things I want to talk about. Let me not bore you with that. No, I'm not going to talk about that because we all know what is insecurity. The other side of security is to be afraid, is to be feared, to be threatened. That's insecurity. If you are threatened, you are insecure. If you believe you can't go out and do whatever you want to do, you are insecure. Next slide. The same national security, there have been so many definitions. In fact, there's no agreement as to what you mean, anybody means when they talk about national security. It depends on the author, it depends on the person who's speaking. And I use somebody's definition there, Paleri. He says it's the measure, a measuring state of the capacity of a nation to overcome the multidimensional threats to the apparent well-being of its people, and its survival. That definition actually contains the problem of national security, because among the people the government is trying to protect are those who are the drivers of insecurity itself. So you can't secure everybody. So what you need is management of whatever you are facing. And Rupert Smith won the military in his book and says there's a paradigm shift in the meaning of national security. Because the people are the object, they are distorted, they are the opposition. The people the security agents are trying to protect are the same people the criminals are trying to suppress, and they are the same people who are going to support the criminals. So you have an issue. You can't kill them the way you kill an enemy from another country. If you do that, then you are undermining the majority part of that particular society because they believe you don't like them. That's what we are facing right now in Nigeria. Next slide. So, national development not bore you in is to develop, to advance, to be better in the way you are living. Next slide. Yeah. Global security. Go on. I've mentioned that the US, in America, the US is threatening Canada. You must be another state. There's trade war between US and Canada, US and Mexico, and a lot of others, even with Panama. So there's no society, there's no area that we don't have problems. So we are not the only one facing problems. It's even worse. Sudan used to be a major country where people look forward to. Nigerians used to travel to Sudan for education. Today, who wants to go to Sudan? Opposition, the military, and the special response group are fighting. And so they've devastated Sudan. Even South Sudan, that just got independence. The president and his vice president are pursuing each other. Pursuing each other seriously, and there's war already in North-South Sudan. What is it? What's the problem? Greed. Everybody's pursuing the national wealth. Everybody wants to capture the national wealth. That's what is happening. And then the Sahel region has become the hotbed of terrorism. And the northeast part of Nigeria is part of the Sahel region. And that covers about 11 to 12 countries, including Eritrea. So we have an issue in Nigeria, particularly when it comes to terrorism. And I put there, the situation may go to worse. It depends on the angle. And I've used it to explain something. The second time are those with periodic problems, and the element of their society is not under their complete control. And I said this is true of a country like India, but it's not threatening. There's not going to be any problem anytime soon. The third tier are countries where government has lost control in considerable areas, and non-governmental armed forces, according to him, are operating. Even though the warlords are there, they are not actually in full control of the areas where they have, nor are they contributing to national stability. And that explains what is happening in Nigeria today. Like most of the African countries, it's not only Nigeria, it runs through everybody in Africa. And that's why I said it explains what you are facing today. Next slide. So what are the factors that are actually engendering insecurity in the country? Next slide. Sociologists have said, look at two things. The structural factors, how the government is established. People will feel aggrieved. People will feel they are marginalized. That explains what is happening in Nigeria. the relationship between the political elites. How are they related? How are they moving? How do they discuss among themselves? But funny enough, the belief is it is easier to negotiate. When you have structural problems, you can sit down and discuss. You give this, you take this, I'll give you that. The problem is cultural factors. It is based on beliefs. It is about individual entities. And so it is very, very difficult to solve. When you have cultural things, and that's the problem we're facing in Nigeria, combination of the two. We have the elites who complain, yes, it's a structural thing, we have the structuring, let us restructure. We must do this, we must do that. But while pursuing structural issues, they bring in ethics and ethnicity and religion into the thing. Ethnicity and religion are about individual, about personality. And that's why it's getting difficult to solve most of our problems we have today. Mention any state in Nigeria where there's a crisis. The elites will fight for power, but somewhere along the line, they start bringing in ethnicities because I'm from this part of the country or the state, and that's why I'm getting this, I'm being maltreated. And that's why it's getting difficult to solve, because they're cultural, they're about identity, they're about individuals. Next slide. But specifically about Nigeria, constitutional development, we've had several constitutions. So we don't really know what we want. Are we a federal country? Are we a confederate? Are we running a unitary system? It's a combination of the three. And that's where the part of the confusion is coming from. We are not federal, we are not confederate, we are not unitary. And so, it has caused the situation where citizens have become apathetical. Well, let them do it. We go and vote, and that is the end. There were securities for them. It doesn't concern us. And so the federal government has control of the major security apparatus. And that has led to states now trying to create their own something. But even with the control, what is the total number of those within the security apparatus? About 3 million, all combined. For a population that the National Population Commission are 250 million. How can 3 million people secure 250 million? It's not possible, it's not going to work. One of the greatest problems we have. And so the next legal perspectives. We have delay in dispensation of justice. People are locked up in prisons without trial. What we do with that is we encourage impunity. Some people feel nothing is going to happen. They arrest you, they just lock you up, they just do something. It's a major thing. We choose technicalities over justice. On most occasions, that's what we do in a judicial system. We look at technicalities. And so the lawyers are people like my friend, Jovo, will look at these are the technical points. They look at the technical points and they leave the issue. It's a major problem. Unfortunately, we've not resourced the judiciary to the level where we believe it should be. In terms of number, in terms of equipment. We're shouting digitalization. Have they been equipped? Do they have what it takes? Even though some states are trying to do something. Abia have started, Lagos have started. 2 out of 26 is a way back. And then the Supreme Court here during COVID-19 went digital. And then filing of cases in most of the courts are now digitalized. But that's why it ends. The judges still use longhand. You come, you make your case, the man writes, and then you adjourn. When your case is coming up, you have to read all over again because he will abandon about 4 or 5 cases after you. He's not a magician. You must read back, and that takes time. It's a major, and there is this passive corruption of what is happening in the judicial system. Next slide. Well, policy, thank God, the FC and the convener mentioned this issue, but in different ways. We use the same policy for everything. The same shoe size fits all. And it's a major problem. Society differs, but we use, if it's working here, it must work here. And that's one of the complaints people had against the World Bank and the IMF. It's the same shoe size solution they give to every country. You have a problem, you must go south. The government must withdraw from economy, allow the private sector to run it. The government cannot move away from economy, from spending money in economic development. But IMF will tell you, no, it's not government's job. But in their own over there, that's what the government still do. And they've told us, no, government must not be involved. So we have failed to take culture into consideration when we're dealing with different communities. And in the military, there's this belief that culture takes strategy for breakfast. Whatever strategy you've adopted, you've developed, if you don't take the culture of the society into consideration, forget, you are a failure. The next is activities of non-state actors. Amnesty International will challenge the government of Nigeria. The armed forces, the security agencies are doing judicial killing. So the guys who are working are handicapped. They are afraid of doing their job. And then we have so many of these non-state actors developing, and they are becoming very violent. Everybody is coming up. If they start as a political something, they create their armed wing. So, and it's because we have impunity and corruption. And so everybody feels they can do whatever they like and go scot-free. And so we have no-go areas and urban spaces all over. Next slide. The media and reportage. It's one of the greatest problems we have in the country. Watch CNN. Whatever is happening in areas where they are involved, there's a way by which they cover it. But with us, open your TV, change channel, you know which particular organization, which channel is in support of government, and which one is not in support. Carry a newspaper, you have the same thing. It shouldn't be. And it's a major thing because they are supposed to educate the people, provide information. If they are biased, then there's a problem already. They are creating more problem for the society. Citizens Party, I've mentioned it, we look at everything from ethnic and tribal sentiments and religious perspective, not on a national issue. But we don't communicate again. Everybody believes in what's up. If you get everybody here, carry our phone. Before the program starts, even me, I was busy with my handset. Everybody's busy with the handset. We don't relate. In the past, gathering like this, people will be talking, shouting, you'll be hearing noise. Nowadays, you hardly hear people talk. Because once they enter a place, everybody carry their handset and they start walking. And so when you talk, say, I'll text you, I'll call you back. Give me your WhatsApp number. That's what is happening. And so communication is breaking down. And we're losing our languages, which are used to communicate, which are used to solve problems. There are communities where their children don't speak their languages again. In fact, most of us in cities, our children rather speak English than our local languages. If I speak in the real learning language with my wife, one of my kids will look at and say, what are you speaking? Which language is that? That's the question to ask because we've gone that far to forgo our languages. Next slide. Next slide. Press. No, go back. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to show this. This is a slide of the ongoing investigation as to how the US is sponsoring. I don't know why it's not playing. How the US is sponsoring terrorism all over the world. Two of the slides. The second one, Mr. Roman was asked if he's aware of the money being spent, 40 million on a monthly basis going to the Taliban. And he indicated that more than 20 different organizations have collected money from the US, one way or the other. And the second was about 690 million on an annual basis with cashier of money being sent to terrorist organizations, including Boko Haram. So that's why I put it international anarchy. It's not about rules, it's about our interests. Everybody based everything on their interests. Next slide. Next slide. Next. So back to the question, the journey so far. I can't pass a judgment because I'm a part and parcel of the issue. But what I'm trying to do is, when I'm in a global sitting room, whatever you do will affect every other person within where we are now. Second, we're on the fringe of the Sahel, and we're part of the terrorism issue affecting all the Sahelian countries. The third, there's cross-border relationship in Borno with Chad, in Katsina with Niger Republic, in Lagos and Ogun State with people in Benin Republic. The same language, the same community. In fact, we used to joke when I was a young officer serving around Badagry area. Said if you are this side of a building, you are in Nigeria, enter that compound, go to the next one, you are in the Republic of Benin. And that's the way people are. So we must take that into consideration. It's a major issue. And then we're really interconnected. Nothing that happens in Nigeria that will not affect others. Others are affected by something else from Nigeria. So we need to have all those things. People believe that the level of insecurity is not as high as we believe. And I quote, the Institute for French Research in Africa They came to the resource center about 2 years ago and said, we are just shouting Nigeria. It's because the records were not available, readily available in the past. In the past, if you post a letter from Abuja, it takes 7 days to get to Lagos. Today, by clicking your WhatsApp something, by clicking your email, the message is delivered. So that's part of the difference. But I tend to disagree. The level is higher, yet the reporting has become global. But doesn't mean the level is not. But what we've done is we've taken abnormality to be okay. We see costs on the street. We are not bothered. You just drive your car and you go on. It's like, and so what that's them with his own life. People are buttoning every other person without anybody blinking an eye. So it's becoming an issue. The weapons, the sophistication of the weapons where they are used, the bad guys, the criminals are using today is unlike before. Before they carry machete, they carry stick, they come in that number. Today is automatic weapons they use. So the level has decreased, the weapons used are decreased, the population explosion and infrastructure in where I grew up in Lagos Island is the same transformer that was there when I was in primary school that's still there today. And yet you can see the population. When I was in primary school, there was no TV in my house. We go somewhere else to go and stand by their window and watch TV. Today, every house in that area has color TV. And yet, we still believe it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. The situation has changed. We've changed in value. Everything is based on money. Parenting has been lost. So people carry their small children and take them to crèche. So, I want to go and work, I want my time. And then those in crèche, you think they are magicians. They are to look after 10, 12 small kids that you cannot look after one. That's why they are giving them drugs. People there have been reports about that for them to sleep. And then we turn small kids to junkies right from childhood. And then we believe we are keeping them somewhere. It's a big problem. We've commercialized insecurity today. Kidnapping has become commercialized. They were kidnapping in the past, but today it's become commercialized. Ritual killing, somebody mentioned it here. We don't feel anything bad about it because it's about money. We worship money rather than relationship. We forego relationship. You can go to hell. In as much as I have money, it's a major issue. And so we have lack of trust and confidence in the system. And we want the system to work. When we are not part of it, we don't contribute to the system, it's not going to work. We are westernizing rather than modernizing. And I've mentioned that. We want to be like them. We left our own way of life. We want to be like them. We are not Africans. We are not Europeans. It's a major problem. Go on. Go on. No other things. But the system is still working. The economy is growing, even though it's having problems. And I put two examples here. I'm just going to run them through them because of time. And I said Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, their problem started far back in 1972 when the LTTE was created. And they couldn't solve their problem until 2009 when LTTE was defeated. Today, Sri Lanka government is still having a problem. But then don't forget the UK's involvement in this. The LTTE were raising funds in Birmingham, in London, and the UK government did not do anything. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka used to be a British colony. And then I attended RCDS with the person who later became CEO of Nova Star. And one day the chief of defense staff came to deliver a lecture, said, "There's nothing you can tell me because you are part of my problems." The CDS, why are you saying, have you not allowed people to raise money against my country? If it's your side, you will say they are criminals. And that's what is happening to all of us. If it doesn't, if it's president, they allow criminals to take over our country. And I use FARC here. FARC problem in Colombia started in 1966. It ended, or I guess, it ceased to be military organization in 2017. So we're doing so well, only that we cannot rest on our horse. It takes these guys 30-something years, Sri Lanka, to solve their problem. It took Colombia 50-something years to solve their problem. We're at a point where we're beginning to solve our problem. We cannot afford to allow things to go out of hand. And that's what we're beginning. We're beginning to trade blames. We're beginning to accuse others rather than focusing on solving the problem. Others are facing worse problem than us. Next slide. Go on. Let me not bore you with this. I just look at what will result if we continue to allow this to continue. It could lead to political instability. We will continue to be a perpetual raw material provider because they want us to continue fighting ourselves. Bring raw material. Today, what is happening? We are talking about food security. It's not that food is not being produced. It's not that farmers, in some instance, they are not going to the farm. But most of the farmers are turning to cash crops. They don't want to go and plant yam or maize and collect peanuts. And when they can't store them, the thing got rotten, or they sell it at give away price, they would rather go and plant cash crop, harvest and send it across the globe and $10. That's part of what is happening to us about food insecurity. Next slide. What's the way forward? Security issue must be for everybody and not just for the security agencies. Because one, we've suggested, so many people have suggested many solutions. But if you are, for instance, people say the whole of societal approach, we must adapt and adopt, or adopt and adapt. If you adopt it, we must adapt it to our environment, not the way the American, not the way the Europeans are looking at it. Because in Europe, there's nothing like traditional ruler. Here, we have traditional ruler. They must be recognized. In Europe, the youth is defined. Here, who is the youth? I stand up and say I'm a youth, even though as old as I am. And nobody is going to raise an eyebrow. So we must adapt, define what we mean and what we want to happen. Education must be focused, not on certification. What we do is certificates, but not applicability. So we need to look at education seriously. Youth must, who make up more than half of the population in Nigeria, they must be encouraged. Thank God the convener has mentioned that, so I'm not going to bore you with that. Women with greater power. Bono, Professor Tag can bear me witness. The mothers have greater control over their children than the fathers, yet we don't recognize the mothers. Rivers, in a harder area that is sad, I know that mothers have more control over their children than the fathers. And yet, how do we use women? How do we use youth? We don't believe in the women. Go and sit down, your position is in the parlor, or in the bedroom, or kitchen. No. We must find a way of integrating the citizens in the security environment. There are so many things that we've done about that, but it must be community focused. Community have what it is, they know themselves. So we must find a way. Even the urban centers will be broken into communities for them. Thank God, places like there is no area in Nigeria, a city that does not have areas that are designated. So we must understand cultural differences in whatever strategy we are using. It is very, very important. The media reporting, you must define a red line where you cannot cross. Yes, you might not like me as a person, but you cannot come over here and start insulting me. All those things must be clearly defined. And it was suggested we had a conference in the resource center, 3 levels. At the strategic level, the owners of all the media organizations must be engaged. The operation managers or the editors must be engaged at another level. Then the correspondents can be engaged at another level. The federal government may need to devolve itself in the element of security. We don't have it with power. Why should the government, the federal government, hold on to everything security? After all, the state has started creating their security architecture. Why don't we devolve a little bit to them? Let's give them something to work on and challenge them. Next slide. Next slide. We must find a way of integration, politically and economically. As Imoglu and Robinson said, there are 2 things why nations fail: extractive economy and exclusive politics. We must find a way of getting over those things. We play zero-sum politics in Nigeria. The winners take all. We must find a way of ensuring that people are integrated. There must be security awareness, and the security agencies must be strengthened for them to be able to perform. You can't continue to, there is a problem, Amnesty International challenge, and then say, okay, CDS, go and answer. That's not the serious job. They must do their job, and they must be covered effectively, that nobody can raise any observation about them. We must develop human capital. That's the crux of the issue. We have over 50 million Nigerians who are not educated at all. I'm not even talking of semi-literate at all. More than 50 million. It's a huge number. The population of UK is 60-something million. If you are close to the population of UK in Nigeria who are not educated, something is wrong with us. When I say education, I'm not saying Western education alone. No, it's not about reading and writing ABC or in English. Arabic education, any form of education that will allow that person to be deeply engaged and be able to communicate. There must be social justice and fairness. And the judiciary has so much to do here. I keep on saying it. They have so much to do. You can't continue to defer cases and adjourn perpetually. It's encouraging impunity. People must be sanctioned. Those who perform must be encouraged to do the work. And finally, that's about everybody. The elites the political and economic elites must lead. They must provide what it takes because they are the leaders. And without their leadership, we'll be groping in the dark. Thank you very much for listening to me.
That applause for the guest speaker can come even louder than that. Thank you very much. Very quickly, because time is of the essence, I'd like to recognize the esteemed presence of His Excellency Right Honorable Ambassador Jide GCON, Speaker House of Representatives Ian Zazo, ably represented on this occasion by Honorable Ahmed Abdullahi Kalabaina, Daunan Kalabaina, Deputy Chairman House of Representatives Committee on Defense. Please let's welcome him with a round of applause, please. Secretary, just wave at us so that we know you're the one representing the speaker. Thank you. We also recognize His Majesty Digital Olu Atuashe III, CFR, Olu of Warri, ably represented by Chief Godi Orasewima Erewa, MD CEO, Global Marine Security and Surveillance Limited, and Chief Omolubi Naomi. Please a round of applause for the duo. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Thank you very much. And His Excellency Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, is represented at this event by the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Honorable Monday Arida Ojo Anyebe. Can we please welcome him with a round of applause, please? Thank you so much for joining us. Philip.
Thank you very much. Sorry, praise the Lord. I'm sorry, please, I've not had my breakfast, so I'm trying to eat like that. I'm sorry. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my profound pleasure to introduce a visionary leader, a champion of progress, a stalwart advocate for the welfare of our great nation, a man of unwavering dedication, unrelenting passion, and unshakable commitment to the advancement of our society. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the illustrious comrade Ayodele Olawande, a trailblazer in every sense of its words, a renowned and successful administrator, and a devoted philanthropist. Minister Olawande has left an indelible mark on our national landscape. Through his tireless effort, he has constantly demonstrated a deep understanding of the complexity of the national youth challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, I therefore welcome our special guest of honor, one more time, Comrade Ayodele Olawande, Honorable Minister of Youth Development. I welcome you.
Thank you very much. I heard some ones saying, build the youth, build the nation. That is our slogan. But I want us to move beyond that slogan this time around. So that we build it ourselves, or we take it whichever way it is. And when I look back, I saw a lot of young people, but they said build the youth. None of them is responding exactly the problem that is happening to us. Because that's one of those things the speaker just said, that even our response to our neighbors these days are not the way it is. So I want to throw this now. I want to see maybe we have the ability to change or not. I said build the youth. Okay, I will say more than that. Good morning, the members of the National Assembly present, all. The Executive Governor of Bauchi State, ably represented by the Deputy Governor, which is my... When I met him last in October 20 last year, and he was the one that gave me, you know, these old people, they used to give somebody title. And after the title he gave to me, I have not collected anyone again because I always run away, but he catch me on the way that very day. So he's the only one, and I was so loved when I saw him walking here. He was the only one, and I would be the last person to give me title, because I will not collect from any other place again. And that is the Deputy Governor of Bauchi State. A very good, fantastic man. Like what the speaker said, is not, everybody is not youth. We have youth, but all of you are young because you can still walk in here. So it's young, but it's not youth. The majority of you are young, but you are not youth. The National Security Advisor, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Army Staff, the Royal Fathers present, the convener, and my constituency, the core members, Rio, the distinguished invited guests, development partners, ladies and gentlemen of the press, and everybody that has no position like me. Before I go into the little speech I have, I need to pick from what I was trying to jot down some things about these, the speaker. The guest, is it the keynote speaker? Oh, I don't know. The guest speaker. Don't let us deceive ourselves anymore. Majority of all of us know the problem. And only if you want to be doing speaker every time. The security of this country, the security of the war, but I won't talk about the war, let me talk about Nigeria, because I'm a local man. The security of Nigeria lies on just only two things. We need to beg our politicians, our elites. We've put more on politics. We drive our nations on politics than governors. We don't do things based on people first. The majority of us don't behave like leaders, we behave like rulers. The definition of leadership has been hijacked by politics, personal interest. I believe if anybody has the opportunity in a particular position, your drive must be the people's first. But today is your pocket first. By the time you are looking for your pocket, one way or the other, you will create problem for the community. A large numbers of young people in the side of the youth, the major problem we are also facing is because a large numbers of us are leaving the local area to the city, and nothing is happening in the city. And when we get here, and nothing is happening here, do we join bad gangs? Do we join different drug abuse? We were part of a lot of things. We need a local system that is working. Federal. Well, we need a local system that is working. We need a real autonomy of the local areas, whereby we have cottage and underlying industries that are working. I asked a lot of people, if a cottage and underlying industry is working very well in the local area, you will know that there is a lot of resources, natural resources, lying over there. Let me give you an example. A large numbers of people goes to UK, maybe from the first row, second row, third row. They know what UK is all about. Maybe all these coppers may not know. Some of them know. Okay. Everybody, I've called several, most of my brothers that traveled, that's Japa syndrome, that traveled. I asked them, are you in London? The day I had the opportunity to visit London, I started calling everybody. I'm in London now, come down. I couldn't see anybody. They said they were far away from where I am. And I asked myself questions, where are you? They said they're in so place. And I discovered that they are in the local areas because they don't have the capacity to live inside London. The problem of insecurity is contentment too. Majority of our young people, majority of, let me say everybody, even political and everything, they are not contented with what they have. Because you are driving Benz, it's not compulsory I drive Benz. Because my brother built duplex, is it compulsory for me to build duplex? You have your head, I have my head. And that is what the speaker said about culture. Nobody is talking to us again. What do I mean by nobody is talking to us again? Go to the prison. I was in correctional center. Sorry, go to the correctional center. I was in Kuje Correctional Center last week. 90% of those people that are there are young people. Who are those people that are even involved in this insecurity? They are young people. And our parents won't encourage us anymore. I remember when I was still growing up, I can never bring a biro that does not belong to me to my mother. She will not accept it. But today, you will see a university student, secondary school student, he wants to use 10 million naira vehicle. And he will drive it home, and the parents will welcome him and say, thank you, you are progressing. The value of our culture, and this goes to every parent, is decreasing. There's not even anything again, not that it's decreasing, zero. And you want to call corruption. It will get to a stage, security agents, they will shoot tired. If we don't go back on aggressive engagement to the young people. They don't even care about what happens anymore. It was when I became Minister of State and I was trying to make some research about the office I was going through. I discovered that even the news, I'm sorry, I was taking your time, I may not read this again. I discovered that the media is also one part of it. Because what happens, I don't know, I've never knew before in my life that we have 3 types of CNN. It is what you want to hear that it will tell you. If you don't believe in your country, if you don't believe in your nation, if you believe that everybody is corrupt, and the next thing is to portray the country in a bad image, no investor will come to your country. You won't have a job. You have something to do. And one of the important things is that we don't want to hear the truth. Anybody that says the truth, you will see the media, you will see bloggers. They will restrict it and give you a suitable distance so that their bloggers can sell. Their blog, sorry. This country belongs to all of us. We are part of this country. Everybody knows the difference between I can play and I want to play. We have governors. Everybody have their works to do. And I plead to everybody that wants to become a leader or that is in a particular leadership position to please and please think about the people's first. Sorry for taking that. I was just so inspired by most of the things the speaker said. And I jotted some things down. Always make our women very important in the community. It's a very important one. The women are so important. And I would have loved to keep on talking about the women again, but I will not do that. I can just give you a tip, and the tip is this. What is called the beauty of the second creation. The improved beauty of the second creation. Not by physically only, but by brain. I'm so very honored to stand before you in this important gathering to contribute to the National Security Summit. This is a very loud new one that is coming as a priority to the young people. Consider the demography that we have. Being the strength of our nation, the foundation of the future, and the safety of the young people most moral and responsibility of the national priority. Importantly, the role of youth in ensuring the peace and stability of our nation. The key, with this knowledge, creativity, strength, young people are doing great in different sectors in our economy, the sports, the entertainment, the business, and etc. But for the continuous strive and contribution to the development of our country, we must create an environment that is safe and secure, that a lot of young people will have the ability to thrive. Raising the crime rate, online threats, drug abuse, and even the harassment are so on. The young people today face a lot of insecurity challenges, and we must find a solution quickly by engaging, and I'll say it again, engaging and engaging. Most of the time, we don't need both those apparatus that we are putting in place for the young, for this insecurity. We just need to engage more. A lot of young people today does not know the difference between FRS and police. They don't even know the difference between immigration service and correctional service. Even custom, they don't read. The only thing that is that we follow trend. But let's make research and engage them more. What is engaging us? We must stop seeing the youth as just the beneficiary of security policies. Instead, we must begin to treat them as an active partner in designing the operative of the security solution of Nigeria. With this, one of my priorities as Minister of Youth is to bridge the gap between the youth, the security, and the government. And for the first time in the history of this country, we are going to have an open and set up an open, facially standard youth evidence, a platform that is going to bridge the gap of insecurity, solve the problems around it, while we relate with the young people and the government. So if you have a problem and you think the best thing is to post on social media, no, post to us. We will relate with the security agents. We are Ministry of Youth Development, and a lot of people don't know the meaning of development. We have to develop and create this. So as a ministry, we are creating a youth evidence. It's already on, and we are bringing it out in a large style. I have the space already, and I'm working on it to make sure that we have a youth evidence to beat the gap between the young people and the government. And don't blame we, the young people. We have not seen the government for over 40 years. We have not seen the government. We have not touched the government. And we have not felt the government. And that is why you are still a young man. You are not a youth. But a youth at 40 that have not seen the government before, that have not touched the government before, that have not seen the government before, and you want to tell me that you want to do something different. No, I will not listen. But now, we are saying we have a listing here. And the president of this country, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has given us our ministry. And we are here to make sure that if we cannot do it now, then we cannot do it again. We must also partner with several organizations to provide mental services. It is not only unemployment that is facing us. Our mental thinking, the way we think also, the way we make things happen, also affect us. Counseling, today, they might have, there might be. But I remember when I was in high school at UATT, as a secondary school boy, we have counselors that talks to us. I don't know, maybe we still have it in schools. And those are the things that brings us from insecurity, that because we don't fall into troubles. The general creation of safe space for the young people, including going back to the grassroots. It is my belief that the only way again is for us to work together, faithfully, sincerely, and we can deliver a safe, secured country. You don't need to like my face, but love this country and believe in this country. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and God bless everybody that has won this country safe and secure. Thank you, and God bless you.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. The minister is waiting. winning on all fronts. Please give him another resounding applause. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister for Youth Development. I must also apologize to the other ministers that are represented. The reason we have to invite him to speak now is because he has another pressing engagement, and so he has to attend to that, taking into cognizance the exigencies of your various offices. So kindly bear with us. I recognize the representative of the Governor of Delta State, Right Honorable Sharif Obore, is ably represented here by Barrister Try Kirewe Harry, thank God, the Honorable Commissioner for Youth Development, Delta State. Please can we give him a round of applause? Thank you so much for joining us, standing in for the Governor of Delta State. The representative of the Speaker of the House of Representatives can please take the middle seat at this juncture. Please give him a round of applause one more time. We want you there, sir. I'm kindly asked to do so. Okay, you're comfortable there. Thank you very much. Thank you. Honorable Engineer Promise Anorika Mwadi. Is he here? Is someone here like that here? Okay, there's an attempt to thief, well, yes, you may use the language thief. There's an attempt to thief your car. So please, if you're here, better quickly go and attend to it. The alarm is triggered on, maybe with that attempt. So please go and attend to your car very quickly. I don't want to use the word steal. That's why I say thief, deliberately so. Your Excellencies, special guest of honor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my brother, friend, today here we have very many comedians of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and of course, one of them who is the rave of the moment is also here with us. Two of them indeed. Wale Baba is here, MC Ode is here. And of course, we also have Chicks the General. But the man who is coming on board now, Philip, the man coming on board now after you will be our brother, the one who, during the tenure of President Goodluck Jonathan, mimicked Patience Jonathan to an extent that he won awards, Ambassador Wahala. But of course, you do the introduction.
Thank you very much. Just before Ambassador Wahala, I'd like to recognize a few other guests here. Dr. Barry Avotu Johnson, National Deputy Youth Leader, South Labour Party, I welcome you. Also, Honorable Blessing Oyefeso, President Nigerian Youth in Politics, Convener Nigerian Youth Stakeholders Conversation, I welcome you. And of course, this very amazing gentleman, Honorable Loki Ominka, President, Blue Coast Integrated Limited, Miners and Contractors, I'd like to welcome you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to beg for a 5-minute breather, this time for comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, Ambassador Wahala, please put your hands together. I've been asked by my principal, Iverian Gabriel, to take comedy security. So ladies and gentlemen, for comedy security.
Good afternoon. I greet my fellow youth, not the old people who want to go village. My fellow youth, good afternoon. Because the young shall grow. Relocate now. When you relocate, you don't say yes, they work for Nigeria. Now that's how I know they work. My fellow youth, where that guy wakes up, that way the minister they talk. Now the problem for this country. You know, even hear anyone what the minister talk, but he just want me the minister knows saying he get. Those are our When did bring the enemy call youth summit? Because when they shout 3 for the enemy, come and say PDP and APC youth there. They write that note. You know, say, okay, sir, I have been look for the director DSS before. I did look for we now, that's how we the power. Now we with the fear. Now we the fear. You are retired. So we, when we the youth now, we want to take over. So if person you will talk anything, anybody will like, take care. If you like, no, take care. After all, if senators and House of Rep talk for National Assembly, they say don't mind them, they are joking. So when we, the youth, talk, they'll say don't mind him, we'll take it serious. So, and the Honorable Minister of Youth, I quote, you know, Nigeria now, we get two words, I quote and allegedly. I quote the Honorable Minister of Youth. He now tell us, say, it's called Ministry of Youth and Development. Sir, thank God say you go. We say you there when I want to talk this, you go receive letter tire. Now go develop tire for this country. You don't understand? We are talking about security, and about 3 weeks ago, the military actually do some posting. Please, let's put our hands together for the military. My fellow youth, please, they are doing well. Shoza, God bless you people. People are doing well. 3 weeks ago, they do some reshufflement and do some posting, and my uncle, who is a soldier, was posted and he retired immediately. When they started the posting, they said, Chinedu, you are here posted to Lagos as the DOC commander. And he said, thank you, sir. And then I called, Bashiru, you are here posted to Ondo State as the DOC commander. And he said, yes, sir. Then I called my uncle, Abdebayo, you are here posted to Boronu. And he said, retire, sir. When you retire, you don't 35 years in service. I want to talk about this is just because we know. You know, the road safety are also part of security. God bless you people. People are doing well. And then civil defense, Abi, and prison. Okay, now it's correctional center service, correctional service. Then wait again. VIO, no. VIO na government secondary school. Their uniform are wear like this, black and white. And wait again. Which group again? Civil defense. God bless you. People are doing well. You don't understand? These days, the rates that the youths are now, we are engaging on the social media, so our daddies, the royal fathers, and please don't mind, it's our time. You know, during that time when you people were like us, you used to write letter, and when you write letter, you have to post, buy stamp, and when you buy stamp, you have to post, and you'll not be waiting for reply. At that time, when people were, then there was a, what did they call them? They called them CID. They work very
affordable education in Africa, a UN diplomat on government bilateral agreement in Africa, ambassador for the National Youth Council of Nigeria in the Republic of Turkey, the global president of the Global Cluster Worldwide. And then as it comes up, I'd like to recognize the President Zawza Professor
Shehu Mailafia Bawali Baraden Zawza. Please let's welcome him with a round of applause. The tour here representing the Emir of Zawza. Welcome you, sir. Very quickly, he has done the needful, and so we're going to be taking, after this, very quick interventions from our guests after the discussant is done discussing the paper that was presented by General Wahab. But before I hand this over to you, sir, there's a bit of an emergency here to recognize very quickly Rear Admiral Akinyade Akinjide, retired project lead, pipeline infrastructure. Please a round of applause for him. And His Royal Majesty Oba Adewale, okay, Adetire Adewale Solomon Omefuwa of Ife, and High Chief Adewale Ajayi, representing the Oni of the Source. Please can we give them a round of applause? Thank you so very much, representing His Imperial Majesty. The discussant, sir.
Excellent day to you all. I want to stand on the existing protocol, and I'm really super excited to be in this meeting today. We have all listened to the lecture today, and I want to be talking solutions and actions to be taken by all of us. Number one, the situation that we have all found ourselves today is, I want to bring greetings from all Nigerians in the diaspora, because I represent one of them, and I'm the one representing all the youths in the Republic of Turkey, formerly known as Turkey. Now, I want to actually talk about solution right now. Everything has been discussed, we've seen it, and I will be talking about foundational issues about insecurity so far. Vulnerability likely gives back to insecurity in our society, and we all need to curb it. In curbing it, a lot of us think that we need one good leader to do it. No, we all need all of us to do it. It is not, the country does not belong to just the head, maybe the president or the governor or the senator. It belongs to all of us. We are all stakeholders. It is for all of us to stand up for this nation, to say we want to make sure that it works. And if we all contribute our own quarters, we will all see a better Federal Republic of Nigeria. Yeah, my solution is that, suggestion, let me just say suggestion, is that number one, we need to look into our education. Now, before, the curriculum trained us to be able to think and communicate, because people ask you, what are you disciplined to do? As a UN ambassador for quality and affordable education, education has actually evolved, and because it has evolved, education should give you 5 things: ability to think, ability to create, ability to be constructive, ability to be creative, and ability to be innovative. And again, the speaker talks about us involving culture. We missed it when our mother's tongue was turned to vernacular, right in our face. Why will our mother's tongue be turned to vernacular? Action steps to be taken. We're going to be creating a technical school in the 774 local government, working with this initiative,
and ensuring that the language of instruction is our mother's tongue. We're starting this initiative immediately. It's not something that we're postponing. Even if it means for us to start with a school or with a local government, and we'll start getting lecturers in our mother's tongue. Our mother's tongue will be the language of instruction, and we can come up with innovative idea, creative idea, and we too can create something and write it in our mother's tongue, and, you understand, and be able to create engineers and all the professions in our mother's tongue. Again, I have seen that in the last 5 years we have done 2 revolutions. We have done NSAS revolution, which did not give us the kind of result we needed. We have equally done bad governance revolution. I was watching while I was in Turkey, and I was seeing what was going on. But I want to mention a suggestion for us to do as Nigerians. 7 revolutionary concepts for all of us. We should go on these 7 revolutionary concepts. Number 1, the mind surgery revolution. Most of the things that happen in our midst is mind issue. We are good people. We are a generation of beautiful and with talent, with everything you could think of. But we had to just have a shift of the mind. How do I mean by mind surgery? We all need to engage in critical thinking, creative thinking, thinking out of the box, developing great memory, flexibility, speed. We need to bring out people doing well in our society, and we need to hear from them. How were they able to scale up in life? So that our youth will not think everybody does Yahoo Yahoo or everybody steals to be able to get to where they are today. Because most of the time, the news we get, the lecturers say that the news we get on this thing is like everybody did something so to have what they have. But that is not so. That is not our real story. We have people in our communities, in all the communities in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that actually did the right thing, but they are very quiet. They don't talk. And we have them. We have good people among us. So we need to hear from these good people, and they need to be talking to us and tell us their story, and so that we learn from their story. And this critical thinking and creative thinking and innovative thinking should be something that will come up with a course that we embed in from nursery school. Our children should engage in these things. They should engage in it in primary school, and they should engage in it in secondary school and tertiary institution. Number 2, humanity revolution. Instead of NSAS, instead of end bad governance, let's go on humanity revolution. Let us all deal with one another because we are human beings, not because of ethnicity, not because of tribalism, not because of religiosity. All of these things have actually divided us thus far. Let us deal with one another based on humanity. Let's show kindness to one another. Let's show respect to one another. Let's ensure that we all get behind each other, just like the speaker said. Let's go back to what we used to do. You understand? Humanity revolution. Let's engage it in all of our communities. Let us ensure that we take it very serious. We revolutionize it. You see people, you show them kindness, and you radiate humanity, and they see that you are an embodiment of humanity. And it's every one of us. It's not just one person. So we should radiate it to one another. We should radiate it to our world. Number 3 is love revolution. We are all product of love. We are all product of excitement. When we were produced, there was excitement in the room. You understand? There was joy in the house. Why do what went wrong? Why are we not radiating it to one another in our community? Why are we not showing the love that we were produced of from, you understand, to one another? If we want a better society, we all need to stand up and love each other genuinely. We all need to radiate this love. This is one thing I've traveled to more than 30 countries, and I've seen this happen in the developed nation. You understand? So let us radiate love in our community and let us start immediately. Number 4, people to people revolution. We have good people in our midst. We have good, great Nigerians all over the world. We are doing well even in the diaspora. You understand? For instance, I helped to implement educational bilateral agreement between Turkey and Nigeria and some other African countries, and I've done a lot of good things. You understand? So now, let everyone, instead of us putting our energy in trying to dethrone the powerful people in our midst, let the powerful one among us adopt the less powerful ones. Let's do people-to-people revolution. If you are doing well in a certain community, pledge to yourself that I want to produce between 1 to 10 million of my kind and distribute them in every community. Let Dangote produce his kind between 1 to 10 million. Let Femi Otedola produce his kind. Let every good people and armies produce their kind and put them in every community. Then we will have killed insecurity, because insecurity is largely based on, vulnerability. So every good person in our midst should pledge to himself and say, I know I have good virtue, I know I have good values. I want to make sure that I produce my kind. I mentor the young people. Let's lower our guards to create a beautiful Federal Republic of Nigeria. Number 5, certificate revolution. Like I said, education has evolved. It's not about what you're disciplined to do. It's what do you know how to do and what can you do. It is no longer about the certificate. It's about the certificate. Skill set must be embedded in our primary, secondary school right now. Now it's if you look at our minimum wage, if a child in Nigeria goes through a primary school, secondary school, normal, and tertiary institution, and they are serving right now, when they come out, how much does it cost to rent a room now in any of our states? How much would that child save to be able to rent a room? You understand? When he gets just salary, and when the training he has got give him the ability to communicate and just to think, and that is where the certificate comes in. Certificate gives you opportunity to be able to be constructive, to be innovative, and to be creative. So, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that we should all go on revolution and ask young people in our midst, everybody, what do you know? What can you do? Go and learn something. Is it that you're learning something? Learn and work. In my mother's tongue, he said, I tell you where cooking Tony J. Do you understand? So, it means the things you could do with your hand will never deceive you. You understand? So, what's my point? My point is that let us all go. Any young person will see, what are you currently learning to do? What can you do? Let us make sure that if you know how to do something, be generous about it by teaching the young people, teaching the people to know how to do it. When we have information, let us share it generously. You understand? Then number 6 is accurate knowledge and information revolution. When we say education will give back to best legacy, how can poor education dovetail to something called best? It's not possible. The gap between our government school and private school is too large. I live in a developed nation. It's not too much. Let us be an advocate to say private school adopt government school. People doing well, technocrats, professionals, and entrepreneurs in every community, do something about the government school in your community. The reason for this is that the children produced from a private school and the children produced from a government school, they all have the same society. They don't have a different society. They will all meet. And this one will be thinking this way, and that one will be thinking that way. These are things that create insecurity in our midst. Let us at least close the gap. And let us let people know that Naira is not just the money. Dollar is not just the money. Pounds is not just the money. Accurate and quality knowledge is money. Accurate and quality information is money. Because the right knowledge gives you the right power. And the right and quality information is the bridge between where you are and where you ought to be. Number 7, accurate connection revolution. Let us bring the subconsciousness of everybody that we need to build the right social capital among ourselves. We need to be deliberate in building the right social capital. Even as Nigeria is right now, if you have the right social capital, you will live as if you're living in heaven. That's how it is. All of our young people relate with one another with respect. Assist one another, be kind, show empathy. And I want to leave you with this. You see, this is my surgery that I want to quickly teach right now. Number 1, we are all delusional about some certain things. The whole world is very delusional. If you ask me who owns this thing, I'll say it's me. If you ask me for my phone, I'll say it's mine. My shoe is mine. When I ask you, you say it's yours. But the real truth, you own nothing. Yes. You're only a custodian while you're on earth. And that is why this is my wife, this is my children, this is my clothes, this is my office, this is my position, this is my certificate. All of these things were just mere delusional. We own the truth about life, about destiny. We own nothing. And we are only here. We are only a custodian of that thing while we are on earth. And or when we decide to trade it for something else. So, in a nutshell, another thing is that we should all bring it to our subconsciousness that life itself, I'm not talking about whether people predict one, I'm not talking just the destiny itself, it's created to multiply unto you the things you do to it. It will multiply it not just to you while you're living, it will multiply it to your generation yet unborn. And that is why we should all be careful at what we do. I'm Dr. Barnos. Thank you.
Perhaps I have not shared with you the import and the health benefits of clapping. That's why the clap is so lucid and lukewarm. We can do better than that. We have a round of applause. For those of you that do not know, a research was done by the University of Philadelphia, November 2014, that says people who clap vigorously, when it's important for them to clap, live longer, healthier, youthful, wrinkles-free, ageless, visit doctors less, and in turn, clapping helps to rejuvenate the internal organs. Invent the culture of clapping, if not for anybody, for yourself. Thank you very, very much. We're going to be taking some very brief goodwill messages and remarks. I'd like to just plead with all the persons that my colleague will be inviting to speak, and especially representative of the governors of the various states that are here. At some point, we'll be inviting you to all speak on behalf of your governors. And of course, we know that security challenges differ from state to state. So you'll be able to speak to that when the time comes. Your Excellencies, we appreciate your presence. Your Excellency, the Chairman Governing Council, former Governor of Bauchi State, Chairman Governing Council of National Open University of Nigeria, will also be talking to us. Malam Issa Yuguda, Your Excellency, we appreciate your presence. We appreciate your patience as well. So let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much. Let's take it quickly.
Thank you very much. Let me recognize all our senior youth leaders with us on the platform. I would really like if I call or mention your name, you can just wave so we know you're with us. I'd like to recognize Comrade Udens Eradiri, South. I'd like to welcome you, and of course, for the want of time, he's going to speak on behalf of all our youth leaders. just after now. Dr. Maria Vote Johnson, North Central, I welcome you. Honorable Abdurrahim Imad Chido, Northwest, I welcome you. Let me also welcome Mazi Chukuma, Southeast, I welcome you. I'd like to welcome Comrade Khalid Harris Harrow, Northeast, I welcome you. And also Oladotu Hassan, Southwest, I welcome you. And to do goodwill and a presentation on behalf of all the zonal youth leaders. Again, I'd like to appeal to all of our youth leaders. According to our program design, we're supposed to have all of you speak, but by the time we combine the numbers of persons to speak, it really makes us leave here almost by 7 p.m. So let me appeal to our youth leaders on your behalf to make very important contribution on a day like this. Let me therefore welcome Comrade Udens Eradiri, former president of the IYC, and also former SA to the NDC Youth. I'd like to welcome you to, on the behalf of all your compatriots, to say a word or two in 2 minutes. Can we please put our hands together for him? Next is also governorship candidate of Labour Party in Bayelsa State. I'd like to have you with us on the platform. You're welcome.
Our royal fathers, military chiefs here, organizers of this program, our youths, I want to welcome you and thank you for your participation. I'm Engineer Udens Eradiri, former this, former that, very soon something. Okay, looking at the issue, I've been listening. I think one of our biggest problems is that we keep sitting down to talk about the problems. When our issues are very clear, leadership crisis. Our leadership selection process is faulty. There is nothing you will do to change it. We can talk from here till tomorrow. We have attended several forums like this. If we don't change the leadership selection process, we're wasting our time. And what I mean that I don't talk about politics alone. Security, youth leadership, businesses. People are always afraid of competent people. In Nigeria, once you are smart, you are a threat. They say this one need to know something. So if Ejiofor is supposed to be director of SSS, he will struggle, even with capacity, to sit on the seat that naturally hard work should earn you. This is where our country is. We know they waste our time. Way forward, let me talk about security. I've been very involved. At the most trying times of this country, I was Secretary General of the Joint Council when MEND was destroying the Niger Delta. The first line is you. Leaders, are we prepared for this security we are talking about? We're not. Until the people decide that we must be involved, we can't solve the problem. And I give you the example of the Niger Delta. When they were destroying the environment, the people are playing politics because another major, the foundation is this ethnicity. Any small thing is na Hausa man, that na Yoruba man. Any small thing is Ijaw people. The time they were selecting themselves in government, they didn't call Ijaw people. The crisis in River State, as we're talking now, the people I was just talking to them, they are on the pipeline. The Trans-Niger Delta pipeline have been blown. Check your phone, it's going on. I've been talking to them now. The time the politicians were to select, selection process, they are looking for one way to talk and leave the ones that have proven capacity and competence. So God is settling everybody accordingly. Anytime they go and choose the one that will come and cover them up, leave the competent ones, those ones that they say na mumu, turn out to bite them.
And then when the bite starts, they turn it to ethnic matter. Ijaw people. This conflict in Rivers State no concern Ijaw people. That's why I refuse to say anything. Again, when we select incompetence as community leaders, they are looking for where to hide that incompetence. So they are looking for politicians to go and run under and use our institution to play this dirty politics that is about to consume the nation. What concerns the Ijaw Youth Council with politics of Rivers State? What concerns the INC? When the former president, governor in my state was contesting election, even though he was my friend, he wanted me to participate, support him. I said, no, sir. Anywhere my face show, it will be the Ijaw face. I will not participate because there are people parties. And when I was to contest House of Rep, he told me that, remember I said that time, he said, you no go support me, I will not support you. I said, even if we turn it, I will stand with the face of the Ijaw nation. This is very serious, so we will keep it our time. After I'm talking for 4 people. Be 6 ethnic nationalities. They selected the governor in Rivers State, Ijaw people did not gather. Nobody even thanked the governor then to say, we Ijaw people, we thank you for choosing Ijaw man. It wasn't politics. It didn't concern us. When the conflict starts, it is now Ijaw versus one person. No. There are Ijaw people on this side, there are Ijaw people on this side. The people that want to impeach the governor, they know Ijaw people. The people that received the minister and they're not Ijaw chiefs and Ijaw people. So those people are not going to be Ijaw people. So please, ethnicity in politics is is also at the root cause of our problem. They have started sharing. There's Northeast Development Commission, there's South Development Commission, there's South-West because of ethnicity. What is the role of the states? We are condoning criminality, incompetence, and laziness of governors. Why are we creating commissions here and there? What is the role of the government? What is the role of local governments? These people are taking our resources and going home. We are here looking for cosmetic solutions to our problems. Somebody was talking, said we should start supporting in your village, support people, train them. You should go and build primary school. Why should I work hard? And then go and take the role that somebody takes money every month from as allocation. In his budget, he's collecting money to renovate schools. Then me and say, no, I should use my money to go and renovate school. I will do it. I'm condoning incompetence and criminality. We must begin to demand from these leaders accountability. And the sad part is that the young people now. What? Okay. Let me go, as we used to say it, and follow your process. Well, I don't even know where to end it. But I say that our young people, we are copying wrong examples. And these wrong examples and negative examples is what we are getting. We shouldn't be complaining when we start to see the results. I'm trying to support the federal government on an issue. Say no to cybercrime. Every time I'm asking myself, can I do this job? Because the incompetence of leadership have created a vacuum that these boys are feeling. The world is moving technologically at an astronomical pace. Our governments and leaders are still in the old age analog. Technology is creating opportunities every day, positive and negative ones. Those spaces will be filled. So as a government, we must begin to look at these problems. Secondary school children are being teachers. It's like you guys don't understand what we're saying. Secondary school children
We're complaining about insecurity. Look, well, anyway, there's not enough time for me to look at this issue. But my advice to the people is that please, let's take security as our personal issue and begin to participate. Our example in the Niger Delta has always been that we took the bull by the horn. And that is what when culminated into the amnesty program that does not have any template in the world. The Nigerian template is one of the best because it was community-based. And before, as I finish, my brother, sorry, yeah. Last week, the MD of NDDC's aide was kidnapped. As you know, what these boys do, they pass information. I want to illustrate community participation. Now, because of the kind of work the MD of NDDC is doing is liked by the communities. So when they heard that they were kidnapped somebody in the waterfront, the entire community came and they were stoning at the boat. So the boys got confused and they could not start the boat. They had to use hand to pull the boat to the side of the bush and dragged the kidnappee and ran into the bush. The entire communities in Bayelsa started going into the bush. It's community. You call some bad boys in Port Harcourt, oh boy, yeah, what did they happen? Well, yes, we don't hear, but when they go Bayelsa, we'll go enter that bush. And then, my brother, small, just 1 minute. That's one. Because of the community participation, it got to a point where anywhere they went into the bush, they were seeing community people. So they left those guys and ran away. Another example is the Tantita pipeline surveillance and the pipeline infrastructure surveillance program. I was one of those agitating to federal government that we must engage communities in every oil and gas activity going on in the environment. And thank God that the Yar'Adua government listened, even though we bent their hand. The Buhari government also at a point agreed and started engaging the community in the security of pipelines and infrastructure in the environment. Last December, if you take the statistics, was the lowest crime rate in the Niger Delta so far as Nigeria is concerned. Okay, therefore you will agree with me. Usually from November, we start putting all the parameters together because the kidnapping will start rising from November to use to celebrate December. But because of the community engagement, a lot of young boys are involved. They are paying the people, the communities are participating in the contracting process. That have allowed for oil to flow from the near 700,000 barrels that it went to 2.2 and counting. The point is that until the community leaders take it upon themselves that security is our business, we will not make progress. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The rep of the Chief of Defense Staff, very esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to recognize from the Office of the Speaker, House of Representatives, Ambassador Onyeze, who is the Senior Legislative Assistant to the Right Honorable Speaker. I'd like to welcome you very specially. Thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to welcome the National Security Advisor, but just before him, ladies and gentlemen, I'll bring Ode for 3 minutes. Let me just put things correctly. Mr. Ode is a comedian. Can we please put our hands together for him? Mr. Ode, please.
Can we clap for the speaker that just left? My name is Mr. Ode, the Uncommon.
the intellectual, mobile, fine boy comedian. My late grandfather was a tank crier. My father was a teacher. I talk for a living. And my mother, she's a woman. You should know that talking wrong in our family. I'm here to make you to laugh. I'm not the cause of blame. So I will advise you to laugh. Why? Because if I crack joke, you don't laugh. That means that I'm not funny. It's just that your family problem is bigger than my ability. So I will encourage you to laugh. Hello? Wicked brings sin. You know there's sin, which network to use. If you want to laugh, I just pass a message. Peter denied Jesus Christ. INEC denied Peter Obi. Natasha will hold two face. I said, they said Natasha wants finish Abadu. Am I making any sense? If I'm making sense, clap for me. This is intellectual that I'm talking about. So don't look down on anybody who first buy car, now buy old money. Hello? I'm coming. There's a 2 minutes. There's a 2 minutes. Hello? Divorce is for the rich. Pack your load and go is for the poor. Come on from my house, not for my people. Lean on me, sir. No mean say make you press me down. Feel at home, and make visitor disappoint television remote. Papa will go school fees, let her attend PTA meeting. Now see finish, now make akara, no follow for snacks. My friend who go commit suicide, sir. You go buy poison, they wait for change. Waiting you want exchange do for them. I discovered that Major General is not laughing. So I have to laugh now, because after that they don't face security issues. Laugh now. This is the only time you laugh. But I don't express my mind. You see now in the laugh. Now so I go to crack joke for one general. I don't know say that general for Guarepa. General they laugh. In voice, they laugh. Because the waiting happen. The general come to me hand like this, you will go far. I don't know what he meant until after the program. As I can't go outside, the boys they follow me. Are you the comedian inside? I said yes. He said we are the comedian outside. I said what is the issue? He said general don't pay you. Now you the yammer. I said what's happening? He said see that he lost. Enter. I said where would they go? He said don't you when general tell you will go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. My name is Mr. Olo. We'll have a wonderful time. Ambassador Duke, God bless you.
Thank you. We just needed to adjust that a little bit because all of us, our faces have been frowning when we talk about security issues, and we all know how it is. So very quickly, standing on the already established protocol, we would want our fathers, the royal fathers, who are the custodians of our tradition in our communities, to speak to this issue. And in the light of that, because time will not permit us to then invite one after the other the royal fathers that are here present, if you don't mind, I'd like to crave your indulgence for your kind understanding to invite the representative, first of all, of the Emir of Zazzau, who will be speaking to us. I don't mind if all right, let's please welcome the representative of the Emir of Zazzau. Ian Zazzau is represented here as well. Ambassador Nuhu Bamali, CFR. You're welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues. I would like to stand on existing protocols. I am representing the Emir of Zazzau, His Royal Highness Malam Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, CFR, who is somebody who is a believer of youth empowerment, and also a man of peace, and one who also believes that there's a lot we can achieve if we have peace. As one of the speakers said, we have peace, relative peace in Kaduna State today. This is all a testament of what collectively the state government, traditional rulers are doing. So he really would like to encourage the Green Assembly Initiative for this program, and to assure you that you have his complete support in doing this. And also to the youth, I would also want to just say a few things, just an advice. I would just want to add, a lot of people have spoken and said very powerful things, very interesting about the solutions and the way forward. But I also personally believe that our youth today, you seem to be looking at other things, not wanting to participate, not wanting to contribute to the things that really matter, that would help the prosperity of this country. Number one, if you go on social media, you don't find the elites talking about ethnicity. It is the youth who are always saying, this is a Muslim, this is a Christian, this is a Hausa, this is a Igbo, this is this. But when we come to a Davido concert, all of you pay money to go together and socialize. So I think the sooner the better you guys focus on the things that would help your development. It would really help. Then second thing is, I'll take from what the former governor of Kaduna State once said, Malan Nasir El-Rufai, that everybody needs to join politics. And who is that everybody? The youth. Today, a lot of you, when election time comes, this is what I have seen. You find out that a lot of people would not even come out to vote, a lot of people would not play in the process, a lot of people would not even pay attention, and yet you expect results. When you are the people who should drive the process, you are strong in numbers, your voice is loud, you know what you want, you know where you're going. All it takes is just for you to start entering the process. Today, state assemblies across the country, majority of people there are young people. Why are they not holding state governors to account to do the things they ought to do? Fix schools, fix rural communities, provide the security. So my advice is, young people, we need to pay attention to what is important. It's very important. Because if you don't do that, what will happen is people who do not have the competence, just like the last speaker said, will be the ones that will come and be making the decisions for your own future. So I would like to employ that 2027 or going forward, join the process. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. One more time, can we please put hands together for the rep of the Emir Zauzau. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to hear special greetings and salutation from His Imperial Majesty Oni Ojaja II, the great Oni of Ife, who sent in a worthy ambassador for the purpose of this conference to recognize him. I will just have to take this very special message from His Imperial Majesty. Allow me therefore to welcome His Royal Majesty Oba Adedire Odewale. I welcome you. He represents the Oni of Ife. He's going to bring goodwill message from the Oni. One more time, His Royal Majesty Oba Adedire Adewale Solomon. I welcome you. For 2 minutes, please.
Thank God for the organization of this summit. I'm respecting the Babani Arilo Dudua, Oba
or Jaja 2. Now, the speakers have said a lot of things, and I want us to please take this thing home. I'm talking about community policing. If we can embark community policing, insecurity will be a bit reduced. Because there's an idea that said, Olele lo mako oleta atija. I will speak. Is the thief is the people that stays inside that will tell the people outside where they put their jewelries. Now, all these things we are saying about now is about watching your communities. For example, now in my own community, if I know the people within my community, any strange person that come in there, I will say, "Go, police, this man is a strange person." To be able to identify the person. So, what I bring into this summit is, please, my brigadier, my people, I want you to take you home. Let's bring in community policing. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. One more time, a round of applause for His Imperial Majesty Oba Enito Oguwisi Ojaja II through the lips of one of his very amazing disciples. I welcome you one more time. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to speak to us at this time is the President's Alumni To speak to us is the President Alumni Association of the National Institute of Security Studies, Abuja. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Mike Ejiofor. Can we please give him a round of applause as he'll be speaking to us for 2 minutes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please permit me to stand on established protocol. When I saw this topic, insecurity and division, the journey so far, the journey has a starting point and a destination. So where's our starting point? And where's our destination? I tried to look from 1999, the role of the youth to date. You know, any house built on a faulty foundation will not stand. The military currently handed over in 1999 to people who were not prepared for politics. You remember when one senator said that some of the senators with him in his chambers were people who interrogated 419 people as at that time. So they formed the foundation of our present politics and packed all our money. Youths, the majority of them, both the national and the governorship level, were youths. By the time we realized it, the genuine politicians wanted to come and get involved. They now started learning from what the previous ones to steal money. That's where we are now. And like somebody said here, the greatest problem we have are our politicians. And they are out to destroy this country. They are not interested in what is happening or what this country is going to be. And we must not allow them. The youths must not allow them. Because it's only the youths that they will come and ask, come and help us to rig the election, come and help to carry ballot box. I now charge you today, if any politician wants to use you, let him bring his child to lead that cause. If the child is not leading that cause, please don't get involved. Their children are outside, enjoying the best of life, and they want you to be killed in the process, and they give you a little money. Now there's a emerging trend now. That's my concern, because we are talking about the youths. Emerging trend. Yahoo boys, Yahoo plus. In 2027, they are going to come out to take leadership of this country. Go and mark it. Because they have already started taking the communities, building schools, building dashing cars, putting up, and because there's so much hunger, anything they tell you, you do. They will come and contest the election. And God forbid, they will not win. So watch out for them. Watch out for them. Because that's emerging leadership trend that is going to come now. And it will be worse for it. It's better to have these our old politicians who are stealing our money than have them to be killing our children. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Again, I'd like to please appeal to our speakers for the want of time, and so we can leave here as early as possible. I really appreciate if we keep it to 2 minutes. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome the representative of the coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program to please speak to us for the next 2 minutes. Mr. Dennis Utaru, who is the coordinator, is here represented by a senior officer from the program, and so I'd like to welcome him to speak on behalf of the coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MC. And my greetings to everybody. Your Excellencies, traditional rulers, and everybody present, please permit me to stand on existing protocol. I am one of those that will be like my brother, Dennis, who we started begging for time. But on behalf of the administrator, Chief Dr. Dennis Utaru, I have come here to thank Nigerians for recognizing the problems that were there pre-2009, before the Presidential Amnesty Program was established. As at that time, just like my brother said, each bubble in the cooking pot of soup were fighting so hard for supremacy, so much so that nobody remembered the cry of the pot. Forgetting that when the pot burns, all the bubbles will perish. Security, security, security. I think, like somebody did say too, the Presidential Amnesty Program is one template that is not anywhere in the world. And the program has been lucky to get full backing to sustain it up to this period, because it's not an agency, it's not a ministry. It was an intervention program. But today, it's gone to another level. And partnering with Tatita, you can see that our oil production have raised up. How did the administrator do this? He did it by going back to the communities, engagements. And I'm glad that a lot of people have spoken about going back to the grassroots. Because that's where the issues are. What is the main thing that will make anybody to engage in insecurity? A lot. Majorly when you are dissatisfied with your being, that's your living. And then when you are idle, a lot have been said and a lot have been suggested. My prayer is for my brother, Comrade Duke, to expand this scope. I'm glad you said you're taking it to the regions. And on behalf of the administrator, who is unavoidably absent due to official engagement, we are willing to partner with you, because it's not enough for us to come out always and talk. Whatever we have said today would have been said over and over. It is the action that is missing. So I also recommend that in a program like this, let us try to develop action items and hold people accountable, so that in the next session, you'll be able to give accounts of what came out of this session, what we plan to do, how we did it, and the way forward. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of my boss. PAP, as we call it, PAP, Presidential Amnesty Program, is keenly interested and willing to adopt and partner, as well as collaborate with any of these.
So I don't have to have almost everybody come to me, let this man speak, let that man speak, so you know who are speakers. And then please, let us also respect the owners of their program, as they've drawn who will and who will not speak. We hear from Pipeline Infrastructure, we hear from one of our representative of governors here, we hear from the CDS, the DGSS, NSA, and of course, our father, the very distinguished Excellency Yuguda. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'd like to welcome High Chief Engineer Kestin Ebimobowe Pondi to please step forward and do goodwill. He is the MD Tantita. Can we please put our hands together as we'll have him to speak to us at this time. Can we please give him a resounding round of applause, please? Thank you.
No problem. The chairman of this auspicious occasion, the Chief of Defense Staff, ably represented, our royal fathers, ministers, please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I'm Brigadier General Felix Edafio, retired General Manager, Securities and Data Security Services. I'm here standing in for the MD, Data Security Services, High Chief Engineer Kestin Ebimobowe Pondi, FNSE. He extends his heartfelt appreciation to the organizers for bringing together key stakeholders in this critical national discourse. At Tantita, we recognize that security is the foundation of national stability, economic growth, and social cohesion. As a frontline surveillance company specializing in oil and gas infrastructure protection, we have witnessed firsthand the evolving threats to national security, ranging from economic sabotage and organized crime to insurgency and terrorism. In the past few years, Nigeria has made commendable progress in addressing these challenges through multi-sector collaboration, technological advancements, and strengthening security frameworks. However, the journey is far from over, since emerging threats require adaptive strategies, intelligence-driven operations, and continued partnership of all stakeholders. Tantita Security has remained steadfast in complementing government efforts through our pipeline surveillance operations, which has significantly curtailed crude oil theft, it has weakened criminal networks, and bolstered Nigeria's oil production. You all know that when Tantita Security came on board in August 2022, our oil production was below 1 million barrels per day. In fact, as I know we came up, it was 700,000 barrels per day. But I will tell you that as at our records And for February 2025, the company now produces 1.74 million barrels per day. And this is due to the combined effort of the surveillance companies with cohesion with the government security agencies, that is the Nigerian Army, the Air Force, the Navy, NSCDC, and the other intelligence agencies. It is a testament to the effectiveness and community engagement, intelligence sharing, and proactive security measures. As we deliberate on this theme in this summit, let us reaffirm our commitment to building a safer Nigeria. We must embrace innovation, enhance interagency cooperation, and strengthen public-private partnership to address the root cause of insecurity. In most cases, the Office of the National Security Advisor always brought all the stakeholders together to discuss at that strategic level. That's why you see that the coalition between the private security agencies and the government security agencies have improved seriously. You should know that a secure nation is not just the responsibility of security agencies, it is a collective duties for all. So on behalf of Tantita, the Managing Director pledges our unwavering support in ensuring a more secure and prosperous Nigeria. Let this summit serve as a platform for actionable solutions. Thank you all, and I want to thank the organizers for taking time to invite Tantita Security Services to make their own contributions. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much. One more time, can we please put our hands together for Tantita. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to work with a very speedy pace, and for 2 minutes, I'd like to welcome Rear Admiral A. Akinade, CEO, Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited. And representative, may please step forward for 2 minutes. Can we please put our hands together? One more time, I'd like to welcome the rep of the chairman of the Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited. I welcome you.
Distinguished audience, ladies and gentlemen, I will beg your privilege to start on the existing protocol. I am Admiral A. the CEO for Pipeline Infrastructure. I'm here to represent my chairman, and my chief executive officer, Mr. Sao Nkumbo. But the theme of this conference, which is insecurity in the nation, sits well with the core of our business, Pipeline Infrastructure. Pipeline Infrastructure will currently engage in security and maintenance of the Eastern Corridor Pipeline networks, that is the Trans-Niger Pipeline. And our security strategy on the line is anchored on community engagement. What I mean by community engagement, we mean engagement of traditional rulers, CDC, that's community development associations, women groups, and of course, our youth. So to this extent, we have engaged over 5,000 youths to maintain 2-4 surveillance on the pipeline right of way. And we have also carried out a lot of capacity building with the youth to build the capacity. So I just say that with the collaboration of the youth, we have, just like my brother Tantita mentioned, if you recall, in 2022, our production capacity was about 900,000 barrels per day. As we speak today, if not for the opportunity incident this morning, we were hovering around 1.8 million barrels per day, which is a very, very significant increment of our production. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank our youth, especially our youth who are in the pipeline, who are in the communities in the pipeline right away, for all the support they are giving to us. We will continue to count on their support so that together we can ensure a safe and secure for our national assets. So this is what I want to thank you. And we hope that working together we can achieve greater prosperity for this country and the nation. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you very much. One more time, can we please put our hands together for him? I shall recognize a few guests before we hear from the next speaker. Ambassador Kingsley Amafiwe, I'd like to welcome you, accompanied of the Peace Ambassador Agency. I welcome you. And of course, I can see my dear sister, a very delectable Mina Hospital. Thank you for coming through. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Director General of the NDLEA is here represented. I'd like to welcome his rep to please speak to us for 2 minutes. Ahmed Sule, our Director of Operations and General Investigation, will represent the Director General.
Okay, let me quickly align myself with the established protocol. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I've listened to our guest speaker, wonderful speech he gave. But the question I asked from the beginning up to this time is that nobody has mentioned Nigeria's #1 enemy. You cannot fight crime and criminality in a country like Nigeria without addressing the issue of drugs and drug abuse. Central and key to crimes and criminality is drug. If you take the drug out of the equation, you discover that the job becomes much easier and lesser for us to address. Address the drug problem and you address less work for police, less work for the army, less work for all security agencies. For able violent crime to take place, there are 3 components that you must address. One, of course, is the man himself. Where there is no man, there may not be any violent crime. The second is the weapon. You must have weapons to fight crime. The third, and the most important as far as I'm concerned, is that if you have the man, if you have the weapon, but that extra, that trigger, that makes somebody to do what he ordinarily doesn't want to do. It's a drug connection. And so you take the drug equation out of crime and criminality, you did Nigeria a great service. In NDLEA, for instance, if you look at the 2018 EU survey, it says that 14.3 million Nigerians are using drugs. That number is humongous, massive number. Now, that is the number that is more than so many countries in the world. And so if these guys are committed, especially our young group, because it says the youth, age 15 to 65. Now, if this group are already engaged and involved in drugs, then you know what good future holds for us. It portends a great danger for this country. And so for us, therefore, to address insecurity, we must address the issue of drug abuse and trafficking. Thank you so very much.
The apples is not very encouraging. We can do better with those rounds of applause. Thank you very much. Time is of the essence, and that's why we're pleading with subsequent speakers to please just take only 2 minutes. So skip protocol as much as you can and go straight to delivering your goodwill or your remarks at this auspicious occasion. The next to speak very quickly before we start inviting our special guests will be the Controller General of the National Security and Civil Defense Corps, Dr. Mohammed Audi, OFR, MNI. Please can we welcome his representative as he comes up to deliver his message. Can we please give him a round of applause, please? Please straight to the point, you may wish to skip protocol.
I'm sorry, presenter. With all due respect, I have to recognize my governor, His Excellency Senator Bala Abdul Qadir Muhammad Kaurambolchi,
ably represented by his deputy, Honorable Awal Jatau, and my father, my mentor, my benefactor, the former governor of Bauchi State, Malam Isai Huda. I don't think I would be fair if I don't recognize these two gentlemen. All protocols duly and most respectfully observed. I am representing the Commandant General, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Dr. Ahmed Abubakar Audi, who had wanted to be here with you, but due to the exigency of duty, he has directed me to stand in for him. He said I should congratulate the conveners of this all-important National Security Summit, which is the second edition, with the theme Insecurity and the Nation, the journey thus far. The CG has given me a 15-page presentation, but because of time and the previous speakers that have said everything about what I would have said, I just want to add to please draw our attention to all of us here that we all know that the primary responsibility of any government is to ensure the security and well-being of the citizenry. This is because no meaningful national development can take place without security. Having said that also, the CG has directed me to draw our attention that we should not leave security to government and security agencies alone. All hands must be on deck. We shall see security as a collective responsibility. In fact, our concern as Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps is the protection of the country's critical national asset and infrastructure, particularly the oil and gas sector, the power and communication sector, the mining sector, agro-ranger, safe school initiative, and the railway sector. Time will not allow me. If you see what is going on in this country, we will really shed tears for this country because we are deliberately destroying and vandalizing this infrastructure that we ought to have protected. So please, I want to use this opportunity to call on our leaders to please see these infrastructures as our own and also take it as a matter of urgency to protect these infrastructures for the sake of our families and our countries. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you very much for keeping it very brief, much as you have a very lengthy speech prepared by the CG. We would like to move on very quickly. Representative of the Director General DSS, no comment, thank you. The representative of our very highly respected National Security Advisor is also left. Okay, he's not speaking. Thank you very much. I then want to invite the representative of our governors, but before then, let me invite my mentor from his days as the Managing Director and CEO of the bank to becoming the Minister of Aviation to becoming the Governor of Bauchi State, as today he sits pretty very tall as the Chairman, Governing Council, National Open University of Nigeria. Please join me in welcoming His Excellency Malam Isa Yuguda for his remarks. We can do better with that round of applause for a governor that is still former but still very active and youthful. Can I hear that applause one more time? Your Excellency, sir.
In the name of God, the most beneficent, the most merciful. For the time allocated to us to talk, I think I will skip all the protocols because I stand on the existing protocols. And everybody here is welcome to this all-important summit. Security, security, security. I think many professionals, many agencies have spoken about security. And of course, for the youth, for some of us, our age is already going towards the burial ground. But I'm assuring you, the Almighty God has given you a gift they call Nigeria. You don't know the geography of this country. You don't know the economy of this country. You don't know the gifts of nature that the Almighty God has given Nigeria. And I believe if you don't know, please try to know it. I personally have traveled to over 70 countries in my life, from my banking days up to when I served government. I'm assuring you there is no country like Nigeria on earth. Everything that we think of, and the absence of very, very catastrophic accidents of nature that are completely absent in Nigeria. You don't have volcanoes, you don't have tornadoes, you don't have typhoon rains, you don't have earthquakes. You only have flood, and this flood is man-made. You close your gutters, you dump issues in your gutters. And that is why they flood in Nigeria. You have a very large land area with kind rainfall, massive land with kind rainfall. There is no place in Nigeria that you will not plant and have a 3-month cycle of growing and for harvesting. There is no country like that. We don't have snow. All these things, Allah has not placed them in Nigeria. Very beautiful land, very rich land. In most parts of the country, you don't need any fertilizer to grow your food. Are you known that gifted? You have mineral resources, you have both liquid and solid minerals. They are all underground. You are so rich. And yet, the question is, how do you stabilize the nation and make Nigeria grow so that the human beings that are presently alive will lead a comfortable life, quality life, with improved longevity of your life, peace and security, and everybody is having a job. Why is this upset? It's upset because of insecurity. So, and I assure you, the adage is that capital is a coward. It doesn't move in environments where there is insecurity. So a lot have been said before this summit, and a lot of papers have been presented. And these papers are extremely rich. And I don't believe that we need further conferencing, further summiting, and what have you. But to assemble all this rich data and come up with recommendations on how we can solve this problem of insecurity immediately. Not defining it, because every extra day we spend without insecurity in Nigeria, it brings the country backward maybe by another 2 or 3 years. So I remember when I served as governor, we had the challenge of Boko Haram. I'm happy today that the director I work with today is the DGSS. I'm not praising him. I don't have any reason to praise him. I don't have any reason to overblow his performance. But I'm telling you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, but for him, the entire Northeast would have been under Boko Haram, including Abuja, and of course the rest of the country. I know what he did, and I know the contribution they did. And those in Bauchi know. I saw him here giving a speech to one of the security summits, and was giving an example of community. Because there are vehicles that we are forgetting when we come to security. We're a deeply traditional country with over 500 tribes. In some places in the north, every 10 kilometers you have another tribe. So, but what made security possible? We had our community leaders and we have our traditional rulers. for traditional leaders. And of course in the Southwest similarly, and some parts of the South and the Southeast. But traditionally, we had our own chiefs and also areas. And the security architecture was constructed, was designed in such a way that they were fully accommodated. From my little experience as a former governor, anything short of having constitutional role with these traditional rulers, not the part and parcel of what the security architecture of this country is just motion without it. The government have to be conscious of that. All this money they are spending on fighting and what have you, these people, this group of Nigerians can make all the difference. And if we don't do that, the earlier we do it, the better for us. So there is also that one aspect that has to do with the breakdown of law and order in the country. We are becoming a lawless country. And when I was listening to some of the speakers, especially the former National Youth Council leader, I mean, he was very, very practical. These things require very, very practical approaches. Yes, we know there is the kinetic approach and there is no non-kinetic. But we have not even appreciated that these people, what would have led them into those kind of situations. So I want to strongly believe that our security agents must stand up to work to make sure that constitutional democracy works. The rule of law works. If somebody commits an offense and he is penalized, that penalty must be imposed, no matter who he is. You can't have laws for the rich and the powerful and then laws for the poor. And any person, the law should not be the respecter of any person who is either a big man, a small man, or everybody that commits a crime. The law must take it court. If we don't respect the rules of law, we become lawless people. I'm afraid we are not getting anywhere. And these are used, we can see that they are in millions and building every time. We have seen how our education system have been bastardized. In fact, most of today I'm the chairman of the National Open University. And I came to discover that this university that I was so ignorant about is about the best thing that has happened in the country. You won't believe it, with 2 million naira, you can sponsor your child to go through the 4 years university program with 2 million naira only. And this university has outreaches all over the country, all the states. Communities are coming to be supported to open, and each study center is a university with every course program you can pursue. Nigeria don't know much about it, and I believe you should take advantage. The youth should take advantage. You will always get your degree in the comfort of your home. And I came to discover that they have the best of system of delivering education. There are study materials that are normally done by a group of professors on each subject. I have gone to a university, I graduated in 79, and I went to one of the best universities in Nigeria, that's ABU. And of course I did my master's degree in the data, and also a good university. I have not seen something like that. Students don't have to stretch themselves to go and do library research, but they will come out with rich information and learn more about the subject they are pursuing and pass their exam very well. In this university, with their storage material, I now understand that all the universities in Nigeria make use of the study material. They download them from the portal. Some of them go to buy, but the students normally we were talking to the guy to get the study material. So, and also, the students and the lecturers in all over Nigeria university are making use of their materials. There is need for me as the chairman to be in this forum, and yes, with so many youth here and parents here, without telling them that, look, you have an institution that is there. Our focus is maybe in the next 3-4 years, we hit at least 1 million students enrolled. And by the grace of God, we are able to do that. Nigeria is going to work. So I have so many things to talk about out of my experience on the issue of security, but time will not permit. Like I said, everything I may speak about now has spoken, but the practical experience may not be where, may not have been highlighted in some of the videos. But I believe we have enough now to sit down and take a decision, if as long as we have the cooperation of the security agencies and the judiciary, we are going to fix that. Without fixing these two, I'm sorry, it's dead on arrival. Sorry. Thank you very much.
Please, can we give His Excellency another resounding applause? Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Now, you must also agree with me that he deserves a round of applause one more time. Having spoken not just as a governor, but as the Chief Security Officer of the state for 8 good years. May I at this juncture plead with the distinguished chairman of the occasion to then please allow me to take the representative of the governors that are here. You'll agree with me that insecurity in the states vary from state to state, from one geopolitical zone to the other. And I'd like to start by inviting the representative of a governor who is in the heat of it all, the heat of insecurity. Started in Borno, and the man is fighting it tooth and nail and has deployed so very many, just as he mentioned, non-kinetic and kinetic approaches to fighting insecurity in Borno, and he's winning at all fronts. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming His Excellency Professor Babagana Umara Zulu, the Governor of Borno State, will be represented by the Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Professor Usman Tar. Please a warm round of applause for him, also an academician. Thank you, sir. Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. I have the singular honor to hold brief for my boss, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umara Zulu, who loved to be here, but for pressing challenges of work. As I speak, he is out of the country, and therefore he instructed me to represent him here. Borno State is the front line of the challenges of insecurity in Nigeria. The challenge of insurgency that has engulfed much of the Northeast, and indeed the whole country. It is Borno where it is happening. And Borno is a large territory, 72,600 square kilometers, exactly the size of Sierra Leone. Exactly the size of Sierra Leone. In fact, Borno State is about 300 square meters larger than Sierra Leone. So we're dealing with a very huge land, population 7 million. It is not easy to secure this land. And much of the discussion that has taken place here, it is happening in Borno. The challenge of the youth, the kinetic, the non-kinetic, and so on. If you would like, Borno is the worst case scenario in terms of security management. But what His Excellency has done is to convert Borno to the best case scenario in security management, by doing the right thing. For want of time, I'm going to summarize. In terms of kinetic, we have a lot of military formations and police formations in the state. 7 deep of the Nigerian Army is based in Borno State. And also the headquarters of Operation Hadinkai is also based in Maiduguri. The federal government has invested hugely in terms of the kinetic by providing the resources, the assets, and the platforms for our military formations to do their job of securing our state on behalf of the federal government. What the federal government brings is good, but the state government, as a subnational entity, also has to support the federal government. If you have watched the news 2 days ago, His Excellency donated 110 Hilux vehicles to the armed forces and the police, and 500 motorcycles. That's a trend that takes place every 6 months. We've got to repeat that much. But we've also supported the federal military establishments in so many other ways. That is the kinetic. His Excellency also deemed it fit to invest in the non-kinetic. We realized that putting boots on the ground alone will not yield the desired result. No matter what the military will tell you, using bullets and boots alone will not provide security. There is need to invest in the battle for hearts and minds. There is need to invest in dialogue, in deliberation. There is need to open back channels to talk to the enemy, adversary, and find ways and means to bring them to the round table, to pull them out of the bush so that they will come and live normal life. I'm happy to report on behalf of His Excellency that since 2021, Borno State government established what we call the Borno Model for Peace, Reconciliation and Development, which is a platform that allows the adversary, the Boko Haram in the bush, to take advantage of channel of communication to surrender unconditionally in return for a very carefully crafted program of de-radicalization and civilization. They come back, they are housed in a large camp where they undergo intensive program of de-radicalization, demobilization, disarmament, and so on. So far, we have been able to pull out over 180,000 insurgents and their families, 180,000. And the records are there. The military alone couldn't have done that. So in Borno, what appears to be worst case scenario has eventually turned out to be best case scenario. If Borno can do it, other states of the Federation can do it, and together, by the grace of God, we shall secure Nigeria and make it a better place. I have more to say, but for want of time, on behalf of the government and good people of Borno State, on behalf of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, I commend the organizers of this event. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help us to secure our nation and make it a decent country for this and future generations. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much. You've done it so very succinctly. We appreciate you. But because time is of the essence, I'm going to be yielding the floor at this point. Mr. Chairman, with your kind permission, I'd like to invite the Governor of Kogi State, His Excellency Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo, represented at this occasion by Honorable Monday Aria Daojo Anyebe, the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Kogi State. Please, a warm round of applause for him. Your Excellency, just a few minutes.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, Aria Fathers here seated, I bring you warm greetings from the confluent city of Kogi State. I want to sincerely commend the organizers of this program for engaging the youth and for constantly reminding us of the need to secure our nation and our state as it is. I want to sincerely stand on the side of the guest speaker who, while talking to us, made us to understand that it is good we know our neighbors. Build the youth. Build the youth. How well do you know your neighbor? That is the question. For us in Kogi State, His Excellency has adopted the community policing pattern by engaging over 50,000 youths to police our respective local governments and communities. And this is yielding results for us in Kogi State. We are relatively peaceful, and our state is safe for business and for the citizens. By also providing equipment for our security agencies and also sharing information, the youth, we can ensure that we have a safe and a better society. Thank you and God bless you.
Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Kogi State, speaking on behalf of the Governor. Thank you very much. The next Governor to speak will be His Excellency Right Honorable Sheriff Oberoi, the Governor of Delta State, and standing in for him at this occasion is Barrister Drakirwe Harry, thank God, the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Delta State. Please can we give him a round of applause? Take a few minutes, please, as well.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, please permit me to stand on the already established protocol. Build the youth! Build the youth! You know, many guest speakers, they've been talking about insecurity. Without the youth in this country, there is no way things can move forward. And I want to bring to your notice, you all know in time past how Delta State was. Our youth-friendly governor, Elder Sheriff Oberoi, has engaged and is still engaging with all the youth apparatus in the state and also the security agencies and also our traditional rulers to make sure that there is peace in our dear state. In 2003, all the companies in Delta State, they all left because of insecurity. As I'm talking to you now, Julius Berger is back in our state. It's based on the engagement of the youth, because without engaging the youth, there is no way there will be peace in that state. And also, in our ministry of youth, we engage the youth in entrepreneurship programs. We engage them against social vices and all those kind of stuff. Just like what the NDLA personnel just said here. That after the intake of drugs, you see these youth engaging themselves in things they don't even want to do. Some of us who are politicians, we engage them in things they don't supposed to do. These are the things we as Delta State, we are fighting. And I believe by the grace of God, we'll make the hands meet. And I still want to encourage other states to follow suit so that Nigeria can be a better place for all of us. Thank you and God bless you.
Can we please give the governors a round of applause? The applause is dwindling. It's on the decline. I thank you. I thank you. For me, just before we bring in the governor of Bauchi State, who is going to speak to us next, Mr. Chairman, I talked to the youths of this country. Our brother, who also led the Enjoy Youths Council at some point, came to speak to us here. And he mentioned that sometimes it is that we're not contented with what we have. Contentment is one aspect. How can you be contented with poverty? Can any human being be contented with poverty? So, but then, there are ways to approach it. For instance, if I'm wallowing in abject poverty, God forbid it's not our portion, I would rather talk to, if I see a neighbor, I can't reach him, I'll stand in front of his gate I know people would come out and start beating you for even standing in front of some people's gates. But I can always plead, sir, I have this qualification, I don't have food to eat, and my children, if I have, I was just looking for something to eat. You could be out of sympathy or empathy, decide that you just come, what do you do, what can you do for a living? A job could be presented. We're not ready to take the bull by the horns. But when you talk about youths of Nigeria, I think apart from anything else, I doff my hat for the Nigerian youths. The reason is not far-fetched. We go through wallowing experiences to go to primary school, wallowing experience to go to secondary school, wallowing experience to go to university, if the lecturers are not training, if it is finances that is training. So these are some of the challenges we need to look at. And so when we talk about insecurity, we must look at, first of all, how do we empower the Nigerian youths? Many of them would finish university, from the university, after the basic 1-year compulsory NYSC. The next question is, where next? What next? The Alawi is not even enough to give them food. So many of them go through harrowing experiences to be able to save very little dime out of their allowance to be able to start something small. I can tell you about Vodi. Vodi, who is a big fashion designer today, started after his youth service in Bayelsa, came to Abuja and started his first dress with 3,600. Go ask him. And then he started hawking that dress. Somebody bought it for 10,000. That was the beginning of his story. Vodi is a very serious, world-recognized, renowned fashion designer today. Sewing for presidents, sewing for traditional rulers, sewing for governors, sewing for ministers. Think about what you can do. Don't wait and think for what Nigeria can do for you. Because you are the future. And the future is, the future lies within you and with you. I like to encourage the Nigerian youth, just as I doff my hat. Please, let's take this very seriously. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, GCO and Ian Zelzel, will be talking to us very briefly, but then because he is the most highly ranking person here, highest ranking in terms of political office holders, he will be speaking to us last. But we are anxiously waiting for the governor of Bauchi State, who will be speaking through his deputy, who will be joining us very shortly so that we can talk to him. He'll talk to us, and then we get the chairman of the occasion to deliver the chairman's remarks. Yes, Your Excellency, I was just actually waiting to have you rejoin us. Please can we welcome His Excellency Awad Jatel, the Deputy Governor of Bauchi State, to speak on behalf of the Karam Bauchi, the Governor of Bauchi State. Your Excellency, sir. Please can I have that applause for the Governor of Bauchi State? Your Excellency.
Thank you. Thank you very much, MC. In the name of Allah, the specially merciful and the specially merciful. Members of the highest lawmaking body of Nigeria, my distinguished friend who is the representative of the Speaker, the Right Honorable Kalambena, with whom I was in the 8th and 10th Assembly. Representative of the ministers, the former governors, especially the former governor of Bauchi State, whose under leadership I was the minority leader in the State Assembly Bauchi, under whose close surveillance I was elected the PDP gubernatorial candidate in the 2015 election. Traditional leaders that are here with us, the chairman of the occasion, head of security, heads of ministries, parastatals, and departments that are here with us, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. I am here as a representative of my boss, who I always described with the minimal words as the forceful force of nature that built and meant so much and so quickly in Bauchi State with their minimal resources. That is Governor Bala Abdul Qadir Muhammad. Yes. Before I read my prepared speech as a deputy governor, let me remind you and remind myself that sometime between 1960s and 70s, there was a president of the United States of America, Richard Nixon by name. He was elected the 37th president of the United States of America. He came to leadership at a time when America was not fully developed, when there was no agricultural revolution. They were only practicing crude agricultural practices, as most of our locals do today. No available tractors, no fertilizers, no chemicals. As a leader, he was faced with so many issues, including restless youth that have so much energy, but there was no work to do. President Nixon made a census of the youth, and consciously having security in mind, that how does he engage this restless youth not to be distracted to go into criminal activities. Before he comes up with a plan, rational enough for them to duly engage, he has to resort to dividing the youth in various communities into two. In the morning, youth were assembled to dig trenches outside the cities and communities, and were paid. And in the evening, another set of youth were engaged to recover the trenches and were paid, simply because he wanted to engage them and make sure that these youth with enormous energy are not left without anything to do, so that they resort to criminal activities. So for every community to have peace, youth must engage in one way or the other. That was why when we came to power, we decided to settle our youth and start thinking how we engage them. And we realized that the youth requires about 4 major things. And vocational areas for training the youth was quickly put in place with adequate equipment. We also believe that the youth need to access economic opportunities. Hence, the reason why we empower our youth by local government, providing money and equipment for them to be able to invest their energy and intellect in. We as well decided to make our environment peaceful,
accommodating, and comfortable enough for them to be able to operate, for any investor to come and invest, so as to ensure that our youth provide their quota toward the development of our dear state and our nation in totality. Consequent of that, today, both states is the most secure state, not only in the northeastern part of the country, but in the whole of northern Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have done so much to make Bauchi a state of peace, hospitality, and science, apart from the tourism attraction. May I be allowed to read my speech, please? Thank you. It is a great honor for me to be invited to this very important occasion of the National Security Summit organized by the Green Assembly in collaboration with various organizations and supported by the Defense Headquarters. The summit could not have come at a better time than now, when our great country is facing serious forms or various forms of security challenges. Indeed, the theme of the summit, Insecurity and Nation, the journey so far is not only apt, but timely. I therefore commend the organizers of the summit for this wonderful initiative. One may not be wrong to describe Nigeria as it is now as a country under siege by a number of security challenges of different dimensions. For now, the major security concerns confronting the country were mainly religious and communal conflicts. It is a matter of serious concern that today, insecurity has become multifaceted and pervasive that has not only affected the socio-economic and political fabric, but has also threatened the very existence of the country as one indivisible nation. As you all know, the country has recently faced major security breaches, including the Boko Haram Islamic extremist sect that has been terrorizing the northeast region of the country. ISWAP, another extremist Islamic group, has also been operating in the northeast and part of the northwest and north-central regions. The latest is the Ansar movement, which also operates in similar fashion and along the same area, and the most recent, which is the Lafrawa group, which has been operating in some of the northwest region. Other notable challenges include militancy in the Niger Delta, kidnapping, banditry, and agitation for separatism. Although the amnesty program introduced by the federal government has actually addressed militancy in the Niger Delta, there are still threats by some of the militants to return the decrees for what they consider as a lack of commitment to the program by the government. Kidnapping, ransom, and banditry are currently the most prevalent security challenges in the country, especially in the states like Zamfara, Niger, Katsina, Kaduna, and Sokoto. Indeed, life in communities under such conditions has become nasty, barbarous, and brutish and short, as people no longer feel safe to go about their normal businesses for fear. Although the military has, to some significant extent, recorded success in the fight against such security challenges across the country, the battle is still far from being won. On a daily basis, one reads in more conventional and social media incident of kidnapping programs and banditry and insurgency in different parts of the country. From all indications, it is obvious that military might alone cannot bring insecurity and end to the country. There is a need to determine and address underlying causes of the problems such as poverty and unemployment, especially among the youth, bad leadership occasioned by misgovernance and corruption, drug abuse, inequality in wealth distribution, religious extremism and indoctrination, and porous borders and proliferation of small arms and light ammunition, among other, towards finding lasting and reliable solutions. Bauchi State, like many other states, has its shared security challenges. Consequently, the state government has been implementing various strengths and tactics to address the root causes of security and improve the socio-economic well-being of our state. The strategies and tactics include the following: working to increase the presence of police forces by key hotspots, especially in rural areas, collaboration with military and other federal agencies, promoting dialogue between conflict communities, implementing skills acquisition and job creation programs with the youth to reduce unemployment and prevent youth from being drawn into criminal activities. It is gratifying to note that these measures have made Bauchi State among the most peaceful states in the Northeast sub-region. Finally, I would like to once more commend the organizers of the circuit for their initiative. I am confident that with the array of acknowledgement and experience participation present here, very useful solutions to the various security challenges facing our country will be provided. Protection and blessings of Allah be with you as you conduct this summit, as well when you leave this place to your various destinations. Thank you.
Karam Bauchi, the Governor of Bauchi, speaking through the Deputy Governor, His Excellency Awal Chato. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, sir, just before we let go of the representative of the Oni of Ife, we'll be having a group photograph with our leaders that are still remaining. So kindly just to us 5 more minutes, we'll be bringing this to a close. May I therefore invite at this point the special guest of honor, who will now quickly speak to us, and then we'll call on the chairman of the occasion to give us the chairman's remarks and we'll bring it to a close. Let me place the rep of Oni of Ife, Baba Kabisi Ejo, Tiwa dear, 5 minutes, very sad. Afi àsìkò yìí pẹ̀lú orúkọ ọlọ́mọ Elédùmarè fi bẹ̀yìn. Kábíyèsí kí adé pẹ́ lórí kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀. Just 5 minutes, very sad. Thank you very much for indulging us. May I invite the Speaker, House of Representatives, right, His Excellency Right Honorable Ambassador Judin, PhD, GCON, to please at this point in time, Ian Zaza, speak to us very briefly before we invite the chairman to then round it up. Please come and put our hands together for the representative of the Speaker, Honorable Ahmed Abdullahi Kalambaina, Sardauna Kalambaina, and Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Defense. Can we have that round of applause for him, please?
Thank you. Your Excellency, the former Governor of Bauchi State, my colleague and friend, the current Deputy Governor of Bauchi State. I said I was with him in the 10th Assembly. He was not in the 9th Assembly. He left us and joined the contest for the Deputy Governor of Bauchi State, and he won. Congratulations. And then he please stand by the existing protocol. Mr. Speaker, would have loved to be here, but due to some national assignments, as you know. Today, the fourth day in the chamber, and for the interest of the nation, it has to be in the chamber today. So he asked me to represent him at this vote on occasion as the National Security Summit for 2025. Yeah. I was asked to speak a little, and I had many speakers have spoken. They have spoken very well. It has to do with youth, and the issue of the national security as well. I think all we need is, since we have listened to the speakers, our problem is when we speak, what's the truth here, but when we left, we leave everything here. We never put issues that are raised, the concern, the issue, is caused. We never put them into practice, we leave everything here. So, please, when we live here, let us put into practice what we have and with what we have here. Because no matter what, if we cannot put what we learn here into practice, we can't go anywhere. One of the issues raised here is about the issue of participation of youth in politics or in governance. The 9th and 10th Assembly has done a great job by having a bill that has to do with participation of youth in our politics. That is not too young to run. The bill was passed and was signed into law. And as I'm talking to you now, in the 10th Assembly, most of the members of the House of Reps, 60 or 7% or 70% are youth in the House of Reps. So as I said, it's for you to put the nation first. It's not about being youth or elderly or what have you. The issue is for us to put the nation first in our mind. That is the big issue. And if you can do that, I think we'll move forward. One of the speakers, especially who spoke about drugs or what have you, the use of drugs by youth or what have you, I think we have our borders, we have our ports. And these ports or borders are manned by our security agencies. How does these drugs reach our villages everywhere? How? We have to make sure that these drugs does not come into our country through our borders, through our ports. If we can do that, I think we can minimize the issue of drugs into our youth, which is one of the fundamental issues of security in our country. And with this, I recommend the organizers of this summit for organizing this summit, because to do a lot, and it has done a lot to ensure the security of our nation. Thank you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much. The speaking through the Deputy Chairman of the House Committee on Defense, Honorable Mohammed Kalumai. I would like to appreciate. Thank you so very much. At this point, Your Excellencies, the Chairman will now close the event with his closing remarks. Will also be the remarks of the distinguished Chairman of the occasion. The Chief of Defense Staff will also speak on behalf of all the service chiefs. We know the representative of the Chief of Army Staff is here, and a host of others. So the Chief of Defense Staff being the number one security officer in Nigeria after the President and Commander-in-Chief, as well as the NSA and the Ministers of Defense, will be speaking to us at this point. Let me please, with all humility and respect, invite General C.G. Musa, Nigerian Army Medal, and represented at this occasion by the Director of Intelligence and Security of the Defense Headquarters, Major General A.A. Idris, for the Chief of Defense Staff's remarks. Please, a round of applause for him, please. Please move that the long louder. He has been with us all morning, and as well as the Chief of Army Staff's representative, we appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. As well as the rep of the National Security Advisor, we appreciate you too, sir.
The Honorable Speaker, House of Rep, the Executive Governors here present, the National Security Advisor, the Chief of Army Staff, ably represented, our Royal Fathers, heads of security agencies here present, our able youth, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Major General A. Idris, as was earlier introduced, representing the Chief of Defense Staff at this important summit. The Chief of Defense Staff would have loved to be here today, but he is currently attending to another national matter as we speak. However, he mandated me to represent him and present his remarks. So when I say I, it means the Chief of Defense Staff himself, not Major General A. Idris. It is an honor and privilege to stand before you for this important summit, which marks the second edition of the Youth and Stakeholders Engagement for National Well-Being. This gathering is a testament to our shared commitment to addressing the security challenges confronting our beloved nation, Nigeria. It also calls for a collective and strategic approach in tackling the insecurity that threatens our national stability. Let me start by appreciating the efforts of the organizers for this summit, which serves as a platform for critical discourse on issues of national security. The workshop has drawn participants from key stakeholders which cut across services, security agencies, as well as from various ministries, departments, and agencies. The theme for this summit, Insecurity and the Nation, the journey thus far, highlight the importance of a comprehensive, all-encompassing whole of government and whole of society approach to addressing issues negatively affecting our national security. This summit therefore provides an opportunity to reflect on these issues, share insights, and chart a path forward for sustainable development. I'm therefore optimistic that this forum will delve into actionable strategies for mobilization and collaboration, stressing the significance for practical collective action, shared responsibility. Let me conclude by challenging all of us to rise to the occasion. The security of our nation is a collective responsibility, and each of us has a role to play. As we deliberated today, let us remember that the solution we seek must be practical, inclusive, and sustainable. I would also like to appreciate our special guest of honor, Comrade Ayodele Awolande, the Honorable Minister of Youth Development, for gracing this occasion, despite his busy schedule. I would also like to congratulate the convener, Comrade Duke, and his team on this milestone, and commend you for commitment to excellence. To all our invited guests and participants, I thank you all for being part of this national commitment to our motherland. I have no doubt that this workshop will yield valuable insights and recommendations that will guide our efforts in the months and years ahead. Once again, I thank you for your tireless effort, your unwavering commitment, and your invaluable contributions towards making Nigeria safer and better. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much. One more time, can we please put our hands together for the Chief of the Defense Staff? Thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, how sharper that has happened to this to have thankless children. For us in this very noble organization, we are full of thanks, and so it was said, all is well that ends well. To bring us to informal close, at this time I'd like to take our official vote of thanks, and afterwards we'll take the last stand of the national anthem and then group photograph. Can we have the group photograph will visit us in that from before, so let's have the vote of thanks. I'd like to welcome Kajole and Jala to please step forward for the vote of thanks. Very quickly, please, I'd like for you to keep it for 60 seconds, if possible, or even lesser. We've had a very esteemed VIPs here for too long. It's only proper we excuse them. After your vote of thanks, we'll take the national anthem, group photograph, and then we'll visit the hall. Thank you. Thank you, MC.
Standing on the existing protocol, I'd like to thank, on behalf of the Green Assembly Initiative and the youth leaders here present, I'd like to thank the CDS, the Chief of the Defense Staff, and your representative, the Army Chief, the traditional rulers, former Governor Isai, thank you for all the support you give to us. We are indeed very grateful. We also want to thank everybody that has spoken here, Tantita, and Amnesty Office. We'd like to thank every one of us who have come here today. We also like to thank all the youth leaders who have given us the support, who have encouraged us. The Deputy Governor, we want to appreciate your kind gesture for coming here today. On behalf of His Excellency, the Governor of Bauchi, I appreciate you. And we also trust that when we go to the regions, we will have all the support. Because security is everybody's business. And we must carry our youth along to ensure that we live in peace. It's better to live in peace than to be at war. So once again, we'd like to thank everybody here present today. As we go back to our various places, we wish you the very best. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. And so, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I request we rise for our nation's anthem to take the last standard. Thank you. So we'll take the group photograph. May I request all of us on the front and second row to please, we'll use this front area for the photograph, please. When we're sitting in the hall, again, I'd like to request all our guests on the front area, the first two seats to please occupy this standpoint for photograph. Representative of our governors, reps of various institutes. And after this, the next photograph will be the Deputy Governor and the other MC. Let me thank my colleagues, Mr. Oye, Abbas Wahala, and of course my very senior principal colleague,